everybody can hear and see me, hopefully. Hey everyone, welcome. It is Sunday. We are back. Yes, finally. Oh, after last week, thanks to Dad and Si, we're back. We have a new camera. Yes, new camera, look. Ooh, you can see all the things with all your eyes. Hey everybody, it is Fox from Model Making Guru. Hello, welcome to... I'm going to take my socks off because it's too warm. Hang on. Oh, feet are warm. They're making me sweaty. Oh. My feet are like my thermostats. If they get too warm, I'm just get too warm. Hello, welcome to Warhammer Sunday. My weekend is when I work on my Warhammer army, the unending forces of the Holy Contrivance. And I just decided to do a stream on a Sunday for a few hours. May as well, while I'm going to be painting, may as well hang out with you guys and have a good laugh. So yeah, we're going to be working on some bits today. If you've not seen one of these before, this is basically just me working for 2 or 3 hours, usually 3 hours, on my bits and bobs, and you guys just hang out and chat and have a good laugh, and I try to do some work, but what I really do is just sit and chat to you guys for hours on end in the chat. So yeah, we're going to be doing some sticker giveaways as always, so if you are watching this and you don't have access to the live chat, I know you can see the chat here, where is it? There. You can see the chat there, but that's not the typing in stuff chat, that's just so you can see the chat. But if you want to take part and have a chance to win some stickers, which I haven't got out yet because I forgot, do pop along, click on the little YouTube icon in the bottom right hand corner of the screen down here somewhere. It's down here somewhere. That'll take you to YouTube where you can watch and join in the live chat, yes. So, how is everyone? Yes, apologies for last week, the camera died. So, yeah, no show last week. It was a bit rubbish, but I got to put my feet up for 2 hours. Yeah, I wish. But yes, we're back this week, and as normal, we've got everything running. So again, thank you to Dad and Si Reynolds, who very, very kindly, before I had a chance to protest or say anything otherwise, they got me a new camera, exactly the same as the old one. Although it seems to be a bit updated, it's a bit more modern, it's got more modern logos, so I'm assuming it's a bit better quality. So let me know how it looks. Let me know if it looks good, and funky. So what are we going to do today? Well, today it's getting to the point now where my Taurox, where's the middle of the, I don't know where the centre of the screen is. It's getting to the point now where the Taurox is kind of almost done, apart from weathering. And I think what I'm going to do is, I need to paint the figures, because obviously they need to be painted. So I think what we're going to do is I'm going to film weathering separately. I think I've decided what I'm going to do is like a how to weather Warhammer vehicles video, just, you know, for this Taurox. So I've done all the buildy painty stuff on these live streams and a few bits here and there. I think what I'm going to do is do that as a separate video, maybe during the week. Or maybe this week or next week. So I'm not going to do anything on the vehicle itself today, because there's not really much else I need to do on there. Well, I need to touch up the grill. Couldn't think of the words then. I need to give it a matte coat, obviously, and do some bits and bobs. But there's lots of weathering to do. I need to do lots of weathering under here to make it look... Where's the camera? I don't know where the camera is. Lots of weathering under here to make it look filthy. I need to do some paint chipping. Not too much, but a bit of paint chipping. And just some bits on the headlights to make them stand up. Stand up? Stand out even. And I've got to obviously bring back some bling to these metallic gold parts, these bronzy parts. But that'll be after the rest of the weathering, or maybe before. So I'm going to do that off camera. So that's where we're going to leave that for now. But what I do need to do is get the 2 figures done, the driver and the guy on the gun. So what I decided to do was, as I've got to paint these two, I've got to paint these 2 chaps, the gunner and the driver, I may as well paint the rest of my scions. So we have this big pile of Tempestus scions. I don't even know if I've got like a squad and a half here, or 2.5 squads, or I kind of just bought a load of them, and I got the let's start collecting, and then I bought a load of separate squads so they can all have loads of hotshot las pistols and things, so las rifles, hotshot volley guns even. Because if you buy like the start collecting or the let's just the 5-pack, you can make like 2 hotshot volley guns. But I wanted loads of them to have hotshot volley guns, so I just bought a load of them. I don't even know how many I've got. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, plus a Tempestor. And one of these is a Commissar, so that doesn't really work, does it? That doesn't really work, does it? So I've got 19, I don't know, I don't think I've got enough. I might have to get more. I've got like 2 squads, I think, or 1 squad of 10 and 2 squads of 5 or something. I've got something. Anyway, I balanced it all out. I've got them all marked down on their stand, so I know which one goes where. Tempest, that's a TS. 2. I marked them all on the things, but I don't know what that means. I did the thing of putting numbers on the bases and then not actually paying attention to what I meant by the numbers. So, yeah, I'm an idiot. What can I say? So I think what we're going to do today is I'm going to start on these guys. It'll probably just be a basic red coat, base coat on these guys. I'm going to do them red because, and I'll jump in the chat in a minute and say hello to everybody. I'm going to do them red because, if you remember, I'm doing my army, the Unending Forces of the Holy Contrivance, is themed on the Mobile Suit Gundam Universe's Principality of Zeon. So I've done an Imperial Knight. Yeah, I've done an Imperial Knight. Didn't sound right that when I said Imperial Knight. I've done a Knight already. I'm going to have 3 Knights. I've done one which was done up like a Zaku. I'm going to have one done like a Goof and one done up like Char's Zaku. And what I'm going to do, the Scions, the Tempestus dudes, they are going to be done up to look like they're sort of like part of Char's little army. So you've got like all the Imperial Guard I'll have, who are just grunt troops. They'll be around in the usual vehicles. I've got some AdMech guys. They're going to be kind of Xeoned up. They're all green rather than red, but they've got some touches of red. And there's other guys and troops in there, but the Scions are going to be they're going to be linked to Char and his Zaku. So, for those of you who don't know what Char looks like, here is Char Aznable. That is Char. So I'm going to use this as a guide. So what I'm going to do, because that's Char's iconic outfit, which when you see it in cosplay looks so stupid. It looks great in the cartoon series. And you see it in real life, it looks dumb. So what we're going to do is, instead of these guys being blue, they're all based on like the Fang and stuff, they're going to have red and white accents. So we're going to do the armour in red with gold, what's the word, not filigree. It's got all the piping on it, all gold, still going to have gold piping, so it's going to be red and gold, because you've got, the uniform here is red, and you've also got all the gold bits on his cloak, so it's going to be red and gold. The boots will be white, obs. If there's gloves, they'll be done as white. You can't really see anything on here because it's black, you can't see it. So the gloves will be white, the boots will be white. The helmet, I've not decided whether I'm going to do the whole helmet as silver. I don't know. I might do the whole helmet as silver with, again, gold trim and 2 colours of silver for the head and the mask. And then for the Tempestor, who's the boss man, he's going to be exactly the same, but his cloak will be green on the inside and black or very dark grey on the outside with gold trim and stuff. So we're going to go off Char's outfit. We're going to use that as a template. And of course, any like belts and stuff, I don't know if they have any, but any belts, they'll be white. So, yeah. So it's going to be fun. I'm going to have fun painting this. I'm going to get Char off the screen. Bye-bye, Char. There you go. It is a silly outfit. It is a very silly outfit. So they're going to be red, not blue. So let's have a look and see. Let's quick look at chat before we go and do anything. Hundreds of people turned up before we went live. We have Nim Cinder in, James Lorimore, Dave Barker's in. Welcome to you 3. Dave Barker signed in and then realised he forgot and signed in wrong, so he then signed in as Butcher That Model, which is his channel. Hello, Butcher That Model. Oops, better log on the right account, he says. Pascal Leaver says hello. We have Code Void says hi. Hi, Code Void. Mickle Pickle is in. Mark Scale Models, welcome to both of you two. If I rush through this quickly, I do apologise. I'm going to get through it. We have I've just realised I did say I was going to do a 6-hour stream today because we didn't do a stream last week. Okay, what we might do today. Here's what we're going to do today. What I might do today, and it depends. We'll do this stream as normal. We'll finish at like 6 o'clock. Oh no, wait, I can't. I was going to say I'll carry on after dinner time, but of course Chris Gross Models has his stream at 8, so no point. What I'll do an extra stream during the week sometime, or we'll do a 6-hour stream next week. I was going to do a double-length stream to make up for the fact we didn't have one last week, and I've only just remembered that right now, halfway through the day, so I should have started at 12. So my apologies. We'll maybe do a double-length stream next week, because by the time I've finished the stream at 6 and had my dinner and made the tea and stuff, and then it'll be half an hour till Chris's stream, so there's no point. I don't want to cut into Chris's stream. Let's have a look. Dad is in. Welcome, Dad. Dad, half owner of this wonderful, wonderful camera, which I think, like I said before, Dad and Cy Reynolds got me this. I think, because this is a new... It's the same camera that I had last time. It's the Logitech C920, but it's got a different logo on it. They've kind of tarted the logo up a bit. It looks exactly the same apart from the logo. So I think they've maybe upgraded it and tweaked the software a bit, because it does look I mean, I could be wrong, but tell me how it looks. I mean, obviously I change the settings all the time, so it could look better or worse, I don't know. But I think it's a bit clearer. Only downside is, it comes with a slightly shorter cable, so I've limited in where I can put the camera. So you might be watching today and my hand will get in the way. For some reason, they've got it with now like a foot less cable, which is really weird. I'll have to get a USB extender cable so I can move it around. So, yeah. But thank you to Dad and Si for that. You guys are brilliant. Let's have a look. Osric 9000. Hail Canada. Canada, he says. Good lad. Gross Models is in. Welcome, Chris. Who else have we got come in since then? Thy Creator. Welcome, welcome. I think I'm up to date then. Candygram for Mongo. Fox's model making powers must reside in his wearing of many wristbands. Yes. Many as I can get. I actually got one the other day, but it was too small, so I couldn't wear it. I can't remember what it was for now. Don't know. Who else have we got? Anybody else? If I've missed you, our Spiddy Curator's in. Welcome, Spid. Doodaloo. So welcome to all of you. Now, all of you, I think, have watched this before, but just in case any of you, and I've got you wrong, haven't. Like I say, what I'll be doing is I'll be working on my shizzle for the next 3 hours while you guys hang out and chat. We'll do some sticker giveaways later on. We're not going to do a wheel of giveaways this week because it's thrown me out. Because last week was supposed to be a wheel of giveaways where we pick one out, but it's thrown me out, and I try and do it every other week. I'm actually going to put it on hiatus for a little while, just for a little bit. I need to sort my finances out. And I've still got prizes to send out, which I'm going to be doing this week, I think. A bit later this week, I'll be sending out. I've got Aviad's books. I've got the little tiny egg plane Macross kit. And I've got a load of stickers to send out, so I'm going to be doing that this week. I need to sort my finances out, so I'm going to put the wheel of giveaways on hiatus just for a few weeks, just so I can catch up. Because it's Christmas and it's that time of year when everything costs money, so... Yeah, so we're going to leave that for a while, but we'll still do sticker giveaways and stuff, because that's the cost of a stamp, so it's not so bad. Let's have a look. I need to get some model making wristbands of power, says Candygram for Mongo. Go to your local Warhammer store. Every time I go in, you give me one, for various reasons, but I've got 3 of them, and this one's just to help the heroes. I've had this for years, actually. I need some more for that on, because I'm feeling a bit out of balance. I've got a watch, but the battery went and the strap damaged, and I've got to get the strap repaired, so... Yes. So anyway, how is everyone? Don't forget, as always, if you've not watched one of these before, if you are in the chat and you want to ask me a question, for the love of dog, I need your questions to give me something to talk about. So do give me some ideas in the chat. When we do the sticker giveaways later on, you can ask me a question about anything. It doesn't have to be about Warhammer or model making. If you want to, when we do the sticker giveaways later on, I'll be asking questions for people to win stickers. It's a question and answer job. If you want to send me a question and answer, and I use that question and answer, I'll send you a sticker. So all you need to do is send me an email with your question and your answer, Dave. Question and the answer and your name and address, so I know where to send the sticker to. And just send it to this address that's on screen here, where I don't know where the camera is. Foxx at modelmakingguru.com. Just send an email with your name, your address, and the question and the answer, so I know where. I've got that the wrong way around. Question and answer. And your name and address, so I know where to send the sticker. If you don't include your name and address, I'll just assume you don't want a sticker, and I'll use your question, but I won't send you a sticker. So make sure to include that. Dave, make sure you include the answer. Yes, if you want to ask a question in chat, though, or get my attention, you need to, first of all, put your question in capital letters so I can see it, because I'm here, and I'm painting, and my iPad's there, and the text is really small. So if you put it in capital letters, I'll probably see it. I'll get round to it. Don't worry. I might miss it, but you can ask it multiple times. If you want to get obviously seen, you can use the super chat, which is the little dollar symbol at the bottom left-hand corner of the chat window. Little dollar symbol. Click on that. You can make a small donation to the channel, and that will put your question in a big coloured box. It'll make a noise and pop a thing up on your telly screen up here somewhere. And I'll definitely notice your comment. Or if you want to send me an email with your question, you can do. It can be about anything. Again, just Foxx at modelmakingguru. I don't know where the camera is. Foxx at modelmakingguru.com. And I'll answer your question if I can. As always, we are still doing the stream boss battle. It's kind of died off. Aviad's the stream boss at the minute on 80,134 health. You guys need to get his health down by subscribing to the channel if you're not already subscribed. That'll take a little bit of his health off. You can do a super chat, like I just said. That will take some of his health off, and the more you put through on a super chat, the more amount you put through, the more of his health comes off. Or you can do a tip to the tip jar, which is down here, streamlabs.com/modelmakingguru. And again, put through a tip, and the more you put through as a tip, the higher the amount, the more of his health comes off. Why do you want to do that? Why do you want to get his health down? Because whoever gets his health to 0 will win all the money that's been raised as a sort of budget to buy models, Warhammer or Forge World models. When Aviad became the stream boss from knocking me off, he got 280 quid's worth of Warhammer kit of his choice. So if you want to win 200 to 300 quid's worth of gear, could be, I'm allowing Forge World now, sort of. Forge World or Games Workshop, get your tips and your stream, tips and I can't remember the words, it's tips and super chats in, and get subscribed if you're not already, and get his health down. The more you put through, the more his health comes off, and the closer you get to being the person that can win 200 to 300 quid's worth of gear. And it's basically whatever you want. I just say, here's the budget, you tell me what you want, I order it from Games Workshop or Forge World, they send it to you. Happy times, happy times. Yes, Aviad got 300 quid's worth of stuff. He got like the Knights Renegade set, and he got the entire big kill zone, kill street, kill team thing, and loads of other bits and bobs. So it's worth doing it, but it's kind of died off over the last few weeks, and nobody's put much in, so it's kind of sat there.
Pika Pika!
Oh, hello, what was that? Nim Cinderine says, here we go. Thank you very much, Nim. There you go. Nim's just knocked some of his health off with a little fiver there. Thank you very much. So it does get a bit, it's like an eBay auction. When it's in the middle and you've got like 2 weeks to go before the end of the auction, everybody just sits there and twiddles their thumbs waiting for somebody else to do something. It's only when it gets towards the end of the auction, everybody starts like putting little bids in and they start all sniping and fighting and everything. It's the same with this. It's kind of dead at the minute, but when it gets down to like, I don't know, here somewhere, but this end, when there's like that much health left, that's when everybody starts going, oh, because they all know it just takes one big tip or one big, stream chat thing to tip it to zero on that person. That's how Aviad did it. It was like, right, it was about, there's a big chunk of health left on me, and he put a 90 quid tip through, and there you go, done. So he paid 90 quid and got 280 quid's worth of gear. Cool. Anyway, enough of that. Enormous coffee. Like I say, I'm going to try and not just film the back of my hand all day today. You might get a bit of the back of my hand going because just to where the camera is. Am I going to get somebody tell me, can you get extension leads for USB so you can plug one end of a USB cable into it and then the other end is so male to female? Because cable on this camera is about a foot shorter, so if I can get an extender, then we're all gravy then. I mean, it's fine. I can do it here. It's not a problem. It's just you might see a lot of the back of my hand. Right, quick look at the chat and then we'll crack on. Foxx, just want to make sure, not Transformers, I'm just talking, not even using words now, my brain's just broken. Half an hour to cook, come on Foxx, 10 minutes to make a pot noodle and back, streaming, 15 include a wee break. I'm having sausages, I've got sausages on defrosting on the side in the kitchen, proper manly sausages, loads of them. I'll have sausage and chips and gravy. I'm going to do sausage and chips and gravy and, oh, we haven't got beans. I don't know what we've got to have with it. We've got sausage and we've got chips and we've got gravy. And I've got to find something in the kitchen. So I don't have to go out to the shop. If I have to go to the shop, I will. But I need the exercise. So I might get some, I could have beans, sausage and chips and gravy and beans. Or I could have, because I love, and Mama Foxx loves, Heinz macaroni cheese. Yeah. Oh, tubes, we call them. Just macaroni, just cheesy tubes. Sausage, chips, gravy, macaroni tubes. Tubes, cheesy tubes, or maybe, I don't know, some veg, maybe. And I don't know whether to have, see, I'm weird, because I've got the just regular pork sausages, and they're good quality ones, not crappy ones. I actually quite like chicken gravy, as opposed to normal gravy. But I've got beef and onion gravy, I've got chicken gravy, and I've got just regular gravy. Bisto. And I don't know. I'm torn between the beef and onion, which is quite nice, or the chicken, which actually works with not chicken. Chicken gravy actually works quite well with not chicken. It's quite weird. I'm talking about, now I'm hungry now. Oh, he needs a coffee break too, says Nim. Yeah, you have to figure that in. Rain Haywood says, hi all, just in, family lunch. Yay. Welcome, mate. I hope you're feeling fat now. James Lorimer, Foxx. Hey Foxx, what are your thoughts on Pokemon? Wow, let me start that again. I'll just go backwards a bit. Right, start again. James Lorimer is in chat, and he says, hey, I'm an idiot. Hey Foxx, what are your thoughts on Pokemon Let's Go for the Switch? No, I haven't got a Switch. I did actually watch, what did I watch? I watched a thing, was it Eurogamer or was it Giant Bomb? Might have been Giant Bomb, could have been Eurogamer, could have been both. They were talking about it, and I had Pokemon Go on my mobile for about a year. I got bored of it at the end. I live in an area where there wasn't a lot to catch, apart from goddamn Pidgeys. and Rattatas all the time. Pidgeys and Rattata. I was like, oh, God. I've never been into Pokemon, but I picked up Pokemon Go when it came out because it seemed like a lot of fun. And I played that for a while. It was quite good fun. But I've never been into Pokemon. But I don't know. I saw the Pokemon Let's Go and I was like, you know what? Isn't it just like Pokemon Sun and Moon or something, but re-released modern times style? Something like that. It's like an old SNES game, redone. It looked quite good fun. I did enjoy Pokemon Go. I will say that. I did enjoy it. It's just there wasn't really much to do around here. So, yeah. I did also start watching, because I was quite... Wow, talking. Hello. Because I quite enjoyed it, I started watching Pokemon, the original series, season, the original first series. Because I hadn't watched this as a kid, and I probably watched about 2 episodes when I did. And I was like, wow, it's actually quite good. And then I didn't watch more after that. But yes, if I had a Switch, I'd probably grab it. I haven't got a Switch. I've been trying to convince Mama Fox to buy a Switch, because she's got an Xbox. She had a GameCube. She's got more kit than me. She's got an Xbox. She's got an iPhone. She's got an iPad. She's got all the good... She's got like a 500-foot telly and everything. She's got all the good tech downstairs, as Mama Fox. And she's got the super powerful Xbox One. And she plays Bejeweled. All the power of Xbox, and she plays Bejeweled. I know. William Rayborn says, good morning. Welcome, William. Welcome. Jamie Brown says, question, what should we get Fox for Christmas? Nothing. I don't actually get to get me anything for Christmas. Just come in my videos and hang out. You don't need to get me anything for Christmas. Don't be crazy. I ask for nothing in return for what I do. I get lots of things from you. I'm just going to move this cutting mat because my big cutting mat's moved. I do get lots of gifts from all of you, and it is fantastic, and I do adore it. I don't actually ask for anything, but people like to send me things, and I'm never going to say no. So just a quick thank you to everyone who's ever sent me stuff. I do adore it. It's awesome. You guys just rock. Especially, when people just send me a new camera. It's like, oh, thank you. But yeah, you don't need to send me anything for Christmas. I mean, if you want to, you can. I'm not going to stop you, but you don't need to. All you need to do is watch, and if you learn something from my nonsense, then I am happy. I'm going to cut this off because it's annoying me. It's been annoying me ever since. I can't cut it. It's not. Ugh. We bought these scissors off QVC about 15 years ago. It showed, the guy said they cut through tin can. Yeah, it doesn't cut through anything. The demonstration was supposed to be the guy cutting through a tin can with them. Yeah, my arse. Oh, God. That's not going to happen, is it? Let's try something more hardcore. Bit. There we go. Let's have a look. Dad says, it's his birthday this week. Let's all sing happy birthday. Go on then. Get singing. It is my birthday this week. Get singing then. Nimsinduin, shall I go and head to Wiki for random facts? Everybody likes random facts, Nim. Dude, a Jar Jar Binks moved. Wow, chat's moved all over the place. I saw Jar Jar Binks and then chat jumped and saved me from it. We're all bloody thirsty, says Nim. Oh, hey Jerry, Jerry's in. As you said, it's that time of year, and hi all. Yes, says Dad. You can, male to female, says Spid. Cool, I'll have to get myself a little... I need like a little foot-long thing. I'll grab one from... I'll go to Argos and grab one. Or somewhere. Get one on Amazon. It's weird, because it's like the camera looks all nice and funky and everything. They've just made the cable like a foot shorter. It's like, what? Okay. It seems better quality, which is good. So just get myself a little string. We'll send you a few, says Jerry. No, you're all right, mate. I'll go and grab myself one from... Amazon. It's fine. You don't need to send me one. But thank you. Mashed potatoes and beans, says Jamie Bone. Ooh, I'm not very good at making I'm not the best mashed... I'm going to put the lid on there because I'm talking about food now. I'm not the best mashed potato maker. That's the thing. My mashed potato come out just like edible clouds. They're not great. Also, it's far too much effort. I don't want to be making potato when I can put chips in the chip maker for 13 minutes. Thing about me, I love eating, I hate cooking. If it takes me 10 minutes, if I've got to do a 10-minute process and a 40-minute process that involves lots of mashing and squishing, and I can't be doing with this one. I'll just put chips in the chip maker. There you go, done. Eggs and bacon. Ooh, yeah. Doodle-doo-doo-doodle. Dad, I'll send in them. I have loads to work and I have a package that needs to go to him anyway. Oh, you're all sending me stuff now. Oh, fine. I don't know. It is awesome that you guys send me stuff. It's just, I often can't believe it. Besides, you sorted the cam, I'll sort the peripheral. They're all agreeing. They're all they're all sort of negotiating with each other how to send me things. It's insane. Pascal Lever says it's sad you can't lower wild Pokemon or lure. I think it means lure wild Pokemon, but you just throw balls. Says about Pokemon. Let's go. Also, you see wild Pokemon instead of random encounters, but they will jump at you and stuff. So that's nice. Yes, it's because it's based off of Pokemon Go. It's more about you just catch the wild Pokemon. You don't actually have to fight them, which in one way is kind of good because I don't think I'd have the patience, because in the old game it was like you walk through the grass and there'd be a random encounter every 5 minutes and be fighting them. I'd be like, oh god, I get bored of that too quick. So Sprue Glue Addict is in. Hi Foxx and chat. Do you have any tips on gluing painted parts together? I scrape away the paint, but I still have problems. Yes, it depends how big the parts are. See, scraping the paint away is fine. That's what you need to do. Don't worry too much. If it's something nice and shiny and clean, it can be a pain in the bum. If it's something that's going to be weathered at all, it doesn't need to look like a shiny Formula 1 car or a nice jet plane or something, then it's not so bad, because you've got some scope to make a mess and then tidy up later on. But yeah, if you're gluing parts together, even if you're scraping contact parts away, the chances are you've still got a smaller contact area between the two parts you want to glue together, because you've not got the chance of overspill of glue touching other bits and it all locking together. So for example, if this was a part here and this bit was a peg that went into a hole and it went that deep, like that deep, that would all be covered in glue, and that wouldn't weld together. You'd probably get a little bit extra as well at the top. You could drip it down into the gap. If you're just scraping paint off there, you may only have half of that area scraped off of paint, or even if you do, you might not have any of this bit scraped off paint. So you reduce the contact area a bit. What I would say is get as much paint off as you can, depending on how big the contact area. And maybe a little bit extra as well, because you can always go back and touch things in later on if you have to take too much off. And just get glue on it. If it's something big enough, then you can use your thicker glues. But I would say thin glue like Tamiya Extra Thin, although it tends to dry out faster and it's not quite as gloopy as, say, the normal glue, it does have a stronger bond than the regular fat Tamiya cement or Revell Contactor cement or anything like that. It does give a stronger bond because it's welding the plastic together. So try and use something like Tamiya Extra Thin if it's not such a massive piece. And when you've got it in there, and let's say this, I haven't got anything to put it into. Let's say, I don't know, let's say that has to lock into a hole. There's a hole here and it has to lock in like that. Get glue on that, get it in there. Let's say there's a hole here and you had to slide this in. You're gluing that in, and then just get more glue on the outside. Kind of overdo it a little bit, use the Extra Thin. Get more glue on the outside and just leave it for 24 hours. Just leave it. Because Extra Thin will do its work. It'll just take a while. But it's probably just because you've got, even though you've scraped the paint off, you've still got less contact area. And where there is paint on any bits that glue together, any little particles of paint or little flecks of paint, that's going to mess up the adhesion process because it's stopping the glue doing what it needs to do. So ideally you want to, as much as possible, avoid having parts that are painted and then need to be glued together, because you can make a mess of the paint, but it's not always possible to avoid it. So just try and keep it to a minimum. Foxx says, thy creator, I'm building the gold-coated unicorn Gundam, but the problem I'm having is that my fingerprints are getting all over the Gundam. Do you have any way to prevent that, or do I just have to wipe it? I have a very good solution for that. Gloves. Yeah, if it's the Meki plated Fennex, or whichever one it is, yeah, just wear some disposable gloves. You can get them from any hardware store or chemist's or drugstore, depending on where you are. Just get a little pack of disposable gloves. It won't cost you a few quid. They're good anyway, especially if you use things like C1 metalizer and stuff where you want to wear gloves. When you're painting a model or doing anything, you really want to wear gloves as much as possible anyway. Even if you've got a fully painted model that you're putting together, like when I'm building, say, a gunpla, I've painted it all, but put it all together, I'll still try and wear gloves just so I'm not scraping paint off and getting my hand jam all over the nice paint job. So yeah, just stick some gloves on and give it a good, get some, well, you've got to be careful with the Meki plating. You want to wipe it off with something super, super soft, like very soft cotton pads, makeup pads perhaps, very, very soft, to just wipe all the fingerprints off later. Meki plating though, if it's the perfect grade, ugh, it looks fantastic, but you can't do anything about the nubs. Ugh. Sprue Glue says Dadpla. Dadpla, yeah. Gumpler that Dad makes, that's Dadpla. Dad says, I got some stuff from Kenneth to go to you two Fox and from Mama Fox too. Oh, cool. Yes, Kenneth has sent me some stuff from Australia land. I suspect it's not a Huntsman in a box, but you never know. Could be a Huntsman in a box. Thank you, Kenneth. Everybody's still negotiating, sending me stuff. Scott is in. Scott Sutherland, afternoon. Oh, welcome, Scott. How is it in Orkney today? Froggy throat. No, hang on. There's water down my throat. Clear my throat. Wow, better. One downside of giving up smoking 4 months ago. Talk for anything more than like 20 minutes, my voice goes all croaky. Hand jam, says James Lorimer. Yes. Dad says, Nim ignoring me at Scott. Think yourself lucky, mate. What have I missed there? Hi, Dad. Thank you once again for your guru knowledge, says Sprue Glue. No problem at all. I was crapping myself opening Kenneth's box, lol, says Dad. Yeah, I don't think Kenneth would actually send you a Huntsman, Dad. At least, not a live one, anyway. So, yes, how is everybody? What are you all working on at the minute? What's going on in your worlds right now? I can do some work now, look, see. I've just realised this is the only pot of Mephiston Red I've got, and I don't know how much I've got in there. Oh, I didn't plan that. Oh, well, never mind. We shall do what... That's not the right brush. We shall do what we can. All my brushes are up there. Brilliant. That's not what I wanted to happen. Base brush. Thank you. Doodle-doo-doo. Yes, we're going to paint these guys red. So, what I'm going to do is start off with my favourite colour in the whole world. Favourite Games Workshop colour. Which is Mephiston Red. Some people say Mephiston Red. It's just wrong. They're just wrong. Just shut up. Where's my water pot? There it is. Yeah, I'm going to paint them red with gold trim and white gloves and boots and belts. So we'll get them all based in red first. Now, if I'd been smart, I would have just got a can of Mephiston Red primer. But, you know, I'm not that smart. So they're all primed in black, basically. Favourite colour, Mephistopheles Red, says Dad. And then says Mephiston, bloody autocorrect. Actually, mine does that to Mephistopheles as well. Doodle-doo, doodle-doo. How's it going? Dave says, at the moment I'm painting the Terrorgeist from the OAS Flesh Eater Quartz Start Collecting set. Do you mean AOS, Dave? Always put your answer in with the question, it always helps. Sorry. Right, so let's get these guys painted up. So we need to do a base coat of the Mephiston Red. My favourite colour. Now I could go carefully with these, but I'm not going to be prissy and fart about. I just need to get them coloured. So we're going to go for what seems like a massively huge brush. If I can find one. How big are these? They're shade brushes, they're no good. I need a decent sized brush. This one will do. This one we've got here. Now what I like to do when I base these things, base colours are obviously, if you know your style paints, base colours are more opaque than layer paints. However, it doesn't mean they're not like, they don't need multiple coats. They do need multiple coats. You need to get generous with the paint and do a couple of coats, but they're generally more opaque, so you won't need as much paint. Sometimes you don't need a second coat. But what I like to do, I need to turn that off actually. That's going to get annoying. 1 second. I forgot about that. Let me turn my notifications off. Turning notifications off for Messenger. I could just close Messenger, that'd be a lot easier. There we go. That's not what I wanted. That's not what I wanted either. Where's chat gone? There it is. Yeah, so with base colours, what I like to do when I'm doing this kind of basing, as always, I use a wet palette, because a wet palette is what you should be using. If you don't know what a wet palette is, or you've not made one, on my channel, the channel that you are watching now with all the eyes on your face, oops, there is a how-to section. Everything's in playlists. So go to the playlists, find the playlist called How To, and there is a video that shows you how to make, what a wet palette is and how to make it and why you want one. It's a bit watery now, that, so. But yes, what I tend to find is, for the most part, the base paints, when I'm doing this kind of basing, just getting the base colour on there, let's get this thing on a doobie-doo, that you don't need to thin them really. Just the moisture from your wet palette should be enough to get them thin enough so that you get some decent coverage, but it will take a couple of coats. So I'm not being neat here, I'm not being careful, I'm not delicately placing this all over, I'm just slapping it on, as Ted would say. I'm just getting it on. Whoops, I'm just dropping that. I'm just getting it on there for the moment, because it will take 2 coats. So let me just work on this one. And then once I've got 1 coat on this guy, I'll put him to one side and go on the next one, and then eventually I'll get round to the last guy, and then I'll go back to the start again. And that way I'll get 2 thin coats, hopefully thin coats. But if you're not sure if your paint is too thin or too thick, then there's no harm at all in mixing it thinner than you need it to be. Just if you're not sure, thin it a bit more, because you can always do a 3rd coat if you need to. There's no harm in doing 3 thin coats if the paint is too thin. But what I tend to do when I'm doing this is, Mephiston Red I love Mephiston Red because it's such an opaque colour. It just covers really nicely. You won't need more than 2 coats at most. But yeah, what I tend to do is I try and get the paint on the model. It's thinned enough by the moisture in the wet palette. You don't need to thin it anymore, at least for Mephiston Red anyway. And what I do is I just go around, I get the paint on the brush and get the paint on the model, and then I basically just move the paint around, drag it around on the model as much as I can to make that paint, to get that paint covering as much of the model as possible. I don't do a bit on the arm and then get more paint and then go a bit on the head and get more paint. I get paint on the brush and I make it last as much as I can by dragging it. I try and avoid refilling the brush too much. Try and leave as long as possible between refills. So here we go. So those guys are getting all readied up. Now there'll be some bits I'll miss, and that's fine. I can go back and catch those bits later. This is just to get the base colour down for now. I'm not doing the feet because they're going to be white. And I'm not too worried about the head because I might do that in metallic colours. I'm not touching the backpack because that's going to be metallics, browns for leather. It can be leather browns, metallics, and a different colour for the back for the bedroll. I'm just trying to get the armour parts painted, and I say there will be bits I've missed, but that's fine, because what you'll find is, what I'm hoping is, because I'm not doing this carefully, I'm just getting the paint on there a bit slapdash. There will be little bits that I miss, like little recesses here and there, and that's brilliant, because that's almost like shading, because I've primed it black. Any little bits I do miss, little recesses under the armpits and things like that, they'll just kind of have this shadowed look, and because I'm brushing it carelessly, they'll be a little bit softer. It won't be like a hard break between the red and the black, it'll be a bit fuzzy around the edges. So it's almost like an unintentional dry brush in a way, but I'm not doing a dry brush. And when you put your, you do your shades to get shadow areas, then it'll just be a shadowed area. It'll be an area of darker colour. So you get a little bit of shading effect. It's kind of similar to if you were doing the zenithal method, where you prime it all black and then you spray it white from above, and then you get your base colours and you spray them from above, so all the paint's on the top and the bottom or under areas are all slightly darker because they get less paint. It's that kind of idea, but it's just the brush is the limiting factor. So I hope you can see this. I was a bit unsure as to what to do today, because painting figures is never great on camera. It's never the best thing to watch, because it's hard to figure out where to put the camera. Can't get in there because there's nonsense going on. Let's get the smaller brush going. Cannot get into the small space in here. It's not right, you see. There you go. That's better. There. Do. Now, you might be wondering or questioning the common sense or the logic of the fact that these guys are all fully assemblated. They're all combobulated and assemblated. And you might be thinking to yourself, quite rightly so, my God, Fox, you've given yourself a right rod for your back there, because they're going to be a pig to get painting all the trim around the armour when they've got their arm across their chest. And my response to that is, yes, indeed, you are correct, my friend. You are more than correct. However, I had no choice. The way these figures go together is really quite annoying. I painted his foot, I didn't need to. If you do normal Imperial Guard, you know, your bog standard grunt troops, they have a torso, a left arm, and a right arm. And it's generally not too hard to have one arm, usually the one holding the weapon, left off while you paint the figure. And then when the figure's painted, if you leave the arm unpainted carefully and plan it in advance, you can just plop the arm in, glue it in place, wiggle it around a bit, and generally get it on there, no problem, when everything's been painted. You won't make a big mess. You should be alright. With these guys, you can't do that, because for some reason, I don't know if it's just to give us pointless busy work or what, for some reason, Games Workshop thought it would be a fantastic idea to give us the arms in 2 parts. So you don't just have an arm holding a weapon. You have the upper arm and the lower arm holding the weapon. So that bit there is one piece. This upper arm is another piece. That bit there is one piece. It's not even on camera. That bit there is one piece. There's 4 parts. Each arm is 2 pieces. And they're so fiddly to get them lined up. It's so hard to get them lined up just right so that the weapon isn't... I can't get that in there. The weapon is in the right place and everything lines up with the other arm, because the trick is to get one arm in the right place so that the other arm that's holding the other end of the weapon lines up with it. It's really quite difficult. So that if I was to, or at least, I mean, it might be possible, but I decided against it. If I was to get the arms all painted, just sort of, don't worry, Chris, he just started after jabbering on for like 30 minutes. It's my job. That's my job. Hi, sorry I'm late, says Chris. Oh, that's what you responded to. Yeah, you haven't missed anything, Chris. I did my jabbering for half an hour. Yeah, so you've got the arm. For me, I believed it would be nigh impossible to paint up all the arms in the halves and then try and glue them all together with all the fussing and jiggling that was required to get them to line up without just making a complete and utter abortion of the paint job. Because the glue would go everywhere. You're trying to get them together and they pop apart, or they're wiggling around and they're sliding around. You've got to fumble and adjust. It's like a bad Friday night out, basically. It's all fumbling and regret. So I had to take the executive decision that the only way you can do this is to build them in their entirety first. Get the arms in place first and then paint them. Is that going to make my life a living hell when it comes to painting trim? Absolutely it is. Trying to get little tiny paintbrush down behind the weapon to get to the gold trim. It's going to be an absolute living nightmare. But we'll give it a try. If Duncan can do it, I can do it. Well, if you notice, when Duncan does it, he tends to stick to the figures that you could actually do it on. I mean, I've had these worries before when I've been in Space Marines. You know, where's the camera there? It says, it's because my cutting map mark is there. That's where the centre of the screen is. I need to work there. There you go. But then the map moves and it all goes wrong. A little bit of water on that, I think. What was I talking about? I've no idea. Yeah, when you watch Duncan do it, he tends to use figures where it's actually not too bad to paint them with the weapons up and the arms on. Because I used to think Space Marine, after Space Marine, be like, oh, there's no way I'm going to be able to paint that Aquila on his chest with the rifle up. And then you just do it and be like, oh, actually, it wasn't that bad. So you somehow managed to get away with it. So yeah, we're just doing a simple base coat first, just to get paint on the figure. But if you are painting like this, where you've got the figure already assembled, just do what I do and take the mindset that paint as much as you can paint. If there is a little bit somewhere that you can't quite get the paint on, don't worry about it. If you can't see it, if it's like, say, the crook of the arm and you can't quite see it anyway, or if you're trying to paint, say, an Aquila and the arm goes across the chest, don't worry about it. Because if you can't see the bit, if you can't paint it, you can't get to it to paint it, you probably can't see it. And if you can't see it, it's not a problem. Not a problem. So yes, that's the only downside. I do love the look and feel and design of these Scions. They look fantastic. The helmets with the gold trim and everything, the uniforms and the feet, the boots and they do look fantastic. The only two gripes are, one, you have to fart about with the arms, which is a right pain in the bum. Well, it might be a right, but I don't know yet. I'm not finished painting them yet. It might be a fine. I'll have to find out. So it might be a pain. It might be fine. But the other thing that's a pain is I've forgotten what it was. Brilliant, Fox. Well done. You've forgotten your actual point before you'd even finished making it. Fantastic. You idiot. There was another point, but I can't remember what it was. It's gone. It's gone. There you go. Oh, I forgot about him. He's a... Oh, that's my Hills Are Alive dude. He's the Hills Are Alive. Ah, that's a point. He's the Hills Are Alive Scion. That Kenneth, very... Oh, I need to put on my thing. My very dear friend Kenneth from Australia land, where everything is upside down, made me some little flowers to go on the bases. Because this guy looks so delicate and camp, like he's sick. I've just painted his face red, idiot. Looks so delicate and camp, like he's singing The Hills Are Alive, that I decided to stick him on a flowery base, make him look as camp as possible. So I made some lore up, there's some water on that. I made up a tiny bit of fluff that perhaps, that's far too much water now, brilliant, fantastic. Perhaps this guy, perhaps in the Scions, in the Imperial Army, they have a troop of, a drama troupe, like you do in the real army, where they have, like, you know, the ones that do the stage shows and stuff to entertain the troops. In most armies they have that. I thought that maybe they have the same thing in the Imperial Army. So this guy will have a little squad of men, and they'll be like the drama guys that do little... They go into battle and do combat, but they also do entertainment for the troops when there's nothing much going on, to keep morale up. It's all propaganda, of course. So he's like, the hills are alive with the sound of music. Yes. That's a bit of crappy paint job there. It went a bit thin, but it'll look fine when it's dry. So yes, so there'll be a bunch of them who'll be like the singing musical dudes. And some more paint. Get some paint on the palette, and I shall have a look at what the chat is doing. Splooge. I hope I've got enough paint. That could be embarrassing. I'm sure I can capably fill the time for 2 hours if I run out of paint. Me not be able to talk consistently and constantly for 2 hours? Nonsense. Right. What is chat doing as I have a swiggle of coffee? What have I missed? Slap it on, says Sprue. How many coats, what thickness, says Spid. We answered that. Si Reynolds, hey Si, you're in, nice one. New camera, Si, look. Drop it in a vat of paint, can do. We never question your logic, Fox, says Chris. There's no point, because my logic doesn't actually make any sense at all. Just don't question it, just accept it. I'm personally still jabbering, says James. Food and coffee again. Coffee where, says Nim. The girls at work actually gave me like a bajillion coffees for the extra work I've done for them in November. So get the coffees going, dude. God damn it, my grey rug has just eaten the Primaris Interceptor power cable. Oh, says Si Reynolds. Be right back. Don't. Probably it's best not to have big thick rugs in the workspace. Dad says excellent, but I'm not sure why. Oh no, says Dad. No, no, Si. Good luck, buddy, says James. Quick, someone get the spelunking gear. Space Hamster ZH, welcome, Space Hamster. Hey dudes and dudettes, checking in real quick, probably going to be done again in a minute, but I'm here. Welcome, 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 welcome. Fox, how do I make sprue goo, says thy creator. Ooh, lovely, lovely. Dead simple. If I can find, where's my dad device? That is my dad device. Oh. Dad device. Sprue goo. All you need is some Tamiya extra thin. You might be able to use other glues, but I can't say how effective they'll be. I know from experience Tamiya extra thin is best because you can't see there, but it's very, very thin. You want a very thin welding cement. So big fat, like normal Tamiya cement, is probably too thick. It won't work. So you want something really thin. And all you need to do, quite literally, is get either you can get a brand new pot or just get a. I tend to when a pot gets to say towards the bottom, what I tend to do is just keep it to one side, and then when I get a second pot that gets to the bottom, I just tip that into the old one, and then I build up a pot of glue that way. It's leftovers, and they're all kind of different colours. But before you don't throw the pot away. When you get down to the bottom, just put it to one side, save it, and then top it up with other pots as you go along. Or you could just buy a new one and get a new pot if you want to use one. And all you do is you get either bits of leftover sprue from any kit. As long as it's polystyrene, that's all it needs to be. As long as it's polystyrene, that's the important thing. Bits of leftover sprue, or, if you like me, get some plastic card. Normal pla plate, if you're a Gunpla builder, and just cut it into tiny little pieces. Just little tiny slivers, that kind of, that side. They need to be really, really small. Tiny little slivers. And all you do is you dump them in. Get a load of them, whether it's bits of sprue or it's bits of plastic card, dump them in. And then just put the lid on, give it a good shake, give it 5 minutes, open the lid up, put more in. The trick is, first of all, do it in little bursts like that, get it open, get some in, put the lid on, because if that's open for more than 5 minutes, you'll have a raging headache and feel sick. So always get the stuff in, get it in, close it, done. The trick is to put tons and tons in. If it's sprue, cut the sprue into as small as pieces as you can. So you want to be able to get them in that little hole, basically. Little tiny hole there. Jam it all in. Don't worry if it all sticks up at the top and stuff like that. It's fine because it's going to melt. What will happen is the glue in here is a welding cement. What it does is it basically melts plastic. It takes two pieces of plastic like that. You put the cement on them. You put them together. It melts the plastic to a liquid. That then solidifies back into plastic again, and you've got a welded joint. That's how it works. That's why it's a welding cement. That's why you get sort of really strong bonds with this. When you put a piece of sprue in there, or a piece of plastic card, it goes into the glue, it dissolves. But it stays dissolved because it's in the glue. What you want is you want to put in enough so that it goes a bit like this. You want it to be thick enough. Well, that's probably a little bit too thin. You want it to be sort of thick enough that it sort of bulbs up on the end of the brush, but doesn't run like milk or water. You want it to be thick enough that it can sit on the end of the brush like that. Because if it's too thin and you brush that over a seam line or a joint, it'll just go and flatten out. You want to be able to put a blob of it. There's nothing I can read. Well, I'll just show you anyway. I'll do it on this thing, which is transparent, which is brilliant. You want to be able to get it onto a model. Let's say there's a seam line here. You want to be able to go like that. Blob, 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 blob. And build a bead of glue that can stand up. And it won't just go and flatten out because it's thick enough that it'll stand up as a blob. And then what you do is you leave that for 24 hours maybe. Maybe not even that long. You fill your little gap with that. I'll just get that off. And after 24 hours, you just go back in and you sand it away. Now the trick is, there's no sort of hard and fast rule as to how much plastic you put in. It depends how much glue you've got in there. Just dump some in, dump a load in, give it 5 minutes, give it a good shake, pull out the brush. If it's running like milk or water, it's too thin, dump some more. And you might need to do, I have to do quite a lot of plastic card. But if it's ever too thin, just put more in. You put in as much as you want. Just make sure that the sprues are polystyrene. You want it to be polystyrene because other plastics don't behave in the same way. I need some tissue. So make sure it's polystyrene, and that basically means if it's any kit, you're good to go. Apart from Gunpla, if it's Gunpla, then check the instruction book. because Bandai tell you in the instructions which sprues are polystyrene, it'll say PS, and which sprues are ABS, it'll say ABS. You don't want ABS. ABS is a totally different kind of plastic, and normal cement, like Tamiya cement, doesn't work on ABS. It doesn't dissolve it. It won't work. So make sure it's polystyrene. And all you do, like I say, blob it on, cover your gap with a bead. Doesn't matter if it sticks up a lot. If it looks really messy, it's fine. What will basically happen, the glue will evaporate away. It'll flash off. It'll do its liquidy work, and it'll flash off and evaporate away. And as it does, it'll leave behind the polystyrene that was in suspension in the glue. So what you're basically doing is you're taking 2 pieces of polystyrene. Let's say, again, you've got some kind of tube. 2 pieces, stick them together, put the glue on there, let it dry off for 24 hours. You come back, the glue's faded away, vanished, gone completely, and all that's left is the polystyrene, which is now filling that gap and has welded everything together. All you then need to do is sand it. And because you fill polystyrene with the polystyrene, and because you've put polystyrene in the glue, it's incredibly sandable, and you can do scribing. The downside of many putties when you're doing like filling with putties and stuff is that not all putties and fillers are scribable or sandable. Most of them are sandable, not all of them are scribable. You get a scriber on it, it goes all crumbly and horrible. You're filling a gap with polystyrene plastic. Once it's dry, it's just plastic. It's just scribing plastic. So if you've got a polystyrene kit and you filled it with polystyrene, you've just made 2 halves of a piece into basically 1 half. And it doesn't matter if it's different colours, because you're going to paint over it anyway. So it is just a really, really quick and easy way of filling small gaps. It's no good for massive gaps, because it's a liquid, it's going to run away. But, you know, if you want to fill in, like, pin ejection marks, or say I've got a small hole in a piece, what I've done before, small hole in a piece, I put a piece of plastic underneath it, and then I fill it with, if it's very, very shallow, fill it with sprue glue. Just because it's a lot easier than using putty. If it's too deep, I'd have to use putty. If it's very, very shallow, drop some of your sprue glue in there, let it dry, sand it flat, done. There you go. So yeah, just literally plastic card, polystyrene plate, or bits of leftover sprue. Just cut them really small so they can get in, and you might need to put a lot in, and that's it. I mean, I'm not saying don't use fillers. Sometimes fillers have their uses, of course, for deep gouges and things like that, but if you want a quick filler, you have to leave it for 24 hours, but if you want a quick filling process, sprue glue. People have used it for decades. James Longmore says, "Hey, Space Hamster. Doodaloo-doo, got the bastard. My cat was sniffing around too, rescued from the feline menace that is Zelda." Yes. Khajiit likes to eat the little plastic pieces that you need very importantly. Khajiit likes to be evil. I use the Plastruc cement, says Roadkill Raker. Yeah, I mean, the words. The Tamiya Extra Thin is brilliant for that kind of thing you do on Gunpla, where you put 2 pieces together with the glue, put the glue in the middle and then squeeze it and it bubbles out. It's the same principle. It's exactly the same principle. If you've got a tiny little seam line, so you're putting 2 things together, and you just put some of the, say, extra thin glue, just the glue on its own, on each one, and squish it together and the stuff bubbles out. That's exactly the same as sprue glue. You're just using the glue without putting sprue. You're just using the glue and it'll melt the plastic and then you can sand it down. But if a gap is a bit bigger, or if you've already assembled something and you've still got a seam line or something like that, and you need to then go back and fill it, but you're not squashing things together, then yeah, that's when you can go and use sprue glue. It's just a really handy, quick way of fill. I've done it so many times. There is, I haven't got it here, but I did a, oh, actually, have I? No, there wasn't a seam line on this, but I have a sniper. If you watch the AML90 Warhammer Kit Bash video series on my channel, there's a Imperial Guard sniper, and he's got this cloak on his back, and he had the cloak, but there was a big massive seam line right down the side of it, like this massive gap between the 2 parts of the cloak, because the edges were like that, they were kind of curved inwards. And I was like, oh, I'm going to put filler on there and putty and everything and fill it in. A lot of people use green stuff or like milliput. And I thought, I can't be bothered. I'm just going to get some sprue glue. So I got some sprue glue, daubed it on, let it dry, sanded it down. Perfect. Gap gone. So sprue glue is really for when you've already put something together and there's a gap. Not when you're putting something together, because that's when you can do the squishy method with just the glue. That's what Gunpla builders do it all the time. It's a brilliant way of doing it. But when you've already built something and it's got a gap, that's when it's good for. You can use super glue for the same thing. I've also filled gaps with super glue, but the thing about super glue is it's not really scribable because it'll powder and crumble, and over time it does become brittle and powdery, so it's not ideal. Not ideal. Unless you put some baking soda in it. Doodle doodle doo. Earl D is in. Welcome, Earl. I have double digits of cats, says James. My lady's obsessed. Also, one cat acts like a dog. That's too many cats, dude. I like cats and dogs. I love dogs more than cats, but I'm too lazy to have a dog because I couldn't be bothered like doing all the walking and going out in the crappy weather and clearing up poop. I'd much rather have a cat that just comes and eats its food and occasionally lets me pet it. And it gives me some comfort, but then just buggers off and does its own thing. Doesn't need me to do all that kind of stuff. Yeah, much less maintenance. Nim says he would have a cat if he didn't live in a studio apartment, but he has no door he can shut to protect his kits from. Although he says he did find a kitty at work over the summer. He was so adorable that I almost broke down and took him home with me. Doodle-doo, doodle-doo. Cy Reynolds says, cats were a compromise whilst I'm studying. She wants to start a family. I said not until after I finished with academia, lol. Now we have 4 menaces. Yeah. I still have my danger noodle, so I can't complain. What does that even mean? What is it? That sounds awesome. I don't know what danger noodle is, but I need to explain what a danger noodle is now. That sounds awesome. Reese is in from RJC Models Official. Welcome, Reese. Hello. I'm fine. Thank you very much. Oh, chat just jumped. Let's have a look. It's been his first ever frontline shifts and they were all really good, says Reese. Cool. He's still doing the ambulancings, I assume. Seam lines on the Skitari cloaks are a farting nightmare of gappitude. Yes, I'd get them out for you and show you, because I had to do exactly the same on them. That's what I should have mentioned them. I did those guys because I've got my Skitari. Yes, all the cloaks have like they have a big seam down the middle. They've got the cloak bit there, and they've got like a dangly thing that covers up a chunk of the seam, which is fine, like a dangly pendant thing on a string. But the bottom of the cloak, there's like a gap, because it's like 2 cloak halves. And on the Skitari, the gap's kind of there. There's like I think there's a slight gap there in this one, which you can't see. Let me see if I can zoom in a bit. Hang on. Doodle-doo-doo. Where's my zooming tool? Zooming tool. Now with this guy. Oh, that wasn't got pressed. With this chap here, as you can, oh, it's well out of focus. Look at that, it's terrible. You can quite see here. There's like there's a seam line here because it's that part and that part. The rest of it's hidden under this sleeve. However, on this guy, it's fine because on the other side there's a moulded in seam line, or it may be another seam line. But with these two, it's not so bad because it looks like part of the coat, because you've got the seam line there, which just looks like a natural sort of hem on a coat. You get the sewn in parts. So that I didn't need to fill because it looks like part of a coat. I've got loads of greatcoats. I love greatcoats, and you see that on greatcoats all the time under the pockets. So yeah, I was happy to leave that. But on the Skitari, it's more like a cloak, so you have the same kind of seam line right there, and it's like, oh. And again, that was a case of I could use filler, but because you've got this little delicate dangly thing that goes where the seam line is on the Skitari, and other bits and bobs and all the backpack on there, I was like, you know what, I just sprue glued it. Just sprue glued it, and all was good. I'll just zoom back out again. That's the wrong way. That's the right way. Yeah, so I just sprue glued it. Again, it was literally just got some sprue glue on the bit, 24 hours, sanded it back with a sanding sponge. Perfect. The other advantage of sprue glue over fillers sometimes, again, remember I was saying some fillers aren't really very sandable. They are, but sometimes you'll get a filler, and where you've got plastic and then a filler on top, what you want to be able to do is sand the filler down so you can feather it, so that the filler just goes from filler and fades slowly to just plastic, and you don't get a visible edge where the filler stops and the plastic begins. Microscopically, you'd have filler and plastic like that. You want to sand that flat so that eventually it just fades in and you can't see it. You can do it, and most fillers do, but some don't. But with this stuff, because it is polystyrene, you can sand it so smooth that any little, if you've got a blob of sprue glue and plastic, you can sand that so that all you're left with is the sprue glue in the gap, and everything else is sanded away or smoothed out. So I just find it the easiest filler method to sand and to scribe. Doodle-doo, yes, but the Skitarii ones, I was doing the cloaks on them, I'm like, every single damn one. Ooh. Doodle-doo. Earl D says, eBay, this deserves your attention. Click on it, exercise bike. Don't know what that means. A perfect example of extra thin doing an amazing job is Space Marine torsos or tank seams, says Sarah. Yep. I actually find the one method I've started doing when I'm building dudes, especially Space Marines, or when you've got a single arm, like a normal Astra Militarum guy, or Admech or whatever, I tend to go in with, when it's something that I want to stick in place for a few seconds, like an arm with a weapon, I tend to put the regular Tamiya cement, a tiny dot of it, just on the bit on the torso and the arm, and I just squish it in place, and then I'll run some extra thin round it in the gap to suck in. The reason I do that, I've found, is, especially with arms, if you just put extra thin on it and then hold it and stick it together, it'll just go and droop and fall off, because extra thin isn't particularly grippy for a little while. It melts the plastic. Using the normal thick cement means that when you stick it on, there's the suction there of the thick cement that just holds it in place for a few seconds, long enough that I can adjust the position of the weapon and then go with the extra thin to do all the welding, because I know the extra thin will weld the plastic and give me the strength, but the thick cement will just give me some stick for a few seconds, so I can put the arm on, adjust the position of, if it was somebody holding a weapon, for example, like this guy, I could put if this was a normal Astra Militarum and I had just one arm on each side, I could put them on, I could wiggle them around to line them up, and then I could put the extra thin on there just to seal the deal, basically. So I use both, but only for things like arms and stuff like that, for arms and legs and things where I want it to be able to hold its own weight for a few seconds. A danger noodle is a snack. Oh, right, a snack. I had to think about that. You mean an Ekans? We're just doing Pokemon again, aren't we? Is his danger noodle a shiny Ekans, though? Let's have a look. Speedy Creators just had a cheesy toast and sarnie. Cheesy toasty sarnie. Ooh, yeah. Reese says, yes, absolutely knackering doing his ambulancey stuff, but really good was called to a cardiac, but we were stood down before getting there. Ooh, what, did they stop having a cardiac? Oh, I suppose it could be worse. Let's not go there. Let's move on from that one. So Reynolds, a snake, in my case, a 7-foot albino-strapped African rock python. That sounds awesome. I like snakes. I've had a python around my neck. Be careful around delicate dangly things, says Gross Models. Yes. How to make a lot of cats growl at once. Leave your plate alone for just a second, says James Lorimore. We used to have a cat. We used to have a couple of cats when I was a kid. And one of them, called CB, he was a black cat. For some reason, he just loved crisps. He loved, as you Americans would call them, chips, potato chips. He loved crisps. I don't know why. But you could, just the slightest rustle of a crisp packet, just literally, I could get a crisp packet and go, like that. And if he was at the end of the garden, like 7,000 miles away, because there's like a different time zone at the end of our garden, if he was at the end of the garden, underground, fast asleep in a pile of leaves, he'd hear it and be like, hello, can I have a crisp, please? Like, within seconds, he'd appear in front of you. Like, he'd put his face right in your face. He'd be like, hello, can I have a crisp, please? Hey, I love you. Can I have a crisp? Thanks. Hey. He doesn't really, and we knew he didn't really love us because he's a cat and he's just there for the food. But he really would go with his face and be like, hello, crisp, in there, please. Put crisp in here, please. Thank you. Nom, 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 nom. He used to love us great. You couldn't eat crisps anywhere in the local district without him appearing. And he'd go on to terrorise the local kids, try and get crisps off them. Doodle-doo. Coffee. James is saying he's scared. He wants to go to therapy, but he's scared to go. Don't be scared. Just go. Just go. They're doing their job. He thinks they'll all be judgy Jasons. They're not there to judge you at all. Just go to an approved therapist and do what you need to do. They're there to listen, not to judge. You'll be fine. Right, what's next? What time are we on? We are on... they've moved the clock on the iPad. 4:10. Okay, we'll do a little bit more painty. Yes, James, just go, mate. They're not there. You have to remember, your therapist probably sees like 20 people a day. he hasn't got time to have an opinion on everything his patients say, other than a professional opinion. And when he goes home at night, the last thing on his mind is whatever he's been doing at work. So yeah, it's a hard thing for you to just sit there and talk about whatever he needs to talk about, but you have to remember, to him, it's just work. It's like my tattoo artist used to say. Guy used to get my tattoos done. It was there one day, and a woman came in and said, "Hello, can I have a picture of a wolf tattooed on my arse?" And he's like, "Yeah, can you if you want." Brilliant. Here's the picture, and it was this little millimetre square picture, like it was literally about that big. And he's like, "Well, I can't do that, love, because I can do that, but it'll be that big. You might want to go and find a bigger picture and have to explain it to her that, he'll just copy it." And anyway, so I said to him, I said, what's it like, when you get these requests to tattoo parts of people's bodies that you probably don't want to see? And he's like, "It's just a canvas. To me, it's just like a piece of paper or an artist's canvas. It's not, it's just somewhere I do what I do. There's nothing titillating about it." And you think like that with any kind of medical professional, therapy or not therapy, anything else. To you, it's obviously something difficult and important and quite personal, intimate. To them, it's just a job. It's whatever you come up with, they've seen it before. They'll have come across it before. It's nothing to them. That they're not sitting there having a laugh at your expense. They've seen it and done it all before. To them, it's a professional thing. Like the tattoo artist who just gets to tattoo, naked lady parts, but to him, it's just, that's not relevant. It's just a canvas. It's just the thing he draws on. So don't worry about that. Doodle doo, doodle doo, doodle doo, 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 doo. Bom, bom, bom. So Reynolds says, to be fair to James, he says, "To be fair, James, you've done the hardest bit by acknowledging that you want to go and see one. Just go and do it. Go and do it." I painted his head again. I've kind of made a mental note now I always try and make people with the helmets on, because every time I don't, it means I've got to do a damn painting of a head. However, this guy does have an epic handlebar moustache. TM. Some epic handlebar moustache action going on with this fella. So, yeah, I kind of had to put his head on. So, there you go. I do love the Scion's outfit, though. It's just so dashing and debonair, and it's just nice. It's a nice design. Just a shame about the damn arms. Gits. I think if I do get more Scions, and this is going to be really lazy, if I do get more Scions, I think what I'll be tempted to do is, and I'm sorry to say this, Games Workshop, but I think what I'll be tempted to do to save myself the just mental torture of building them is just go on eBay and buy some that somebody's selling. You get people that build them and don't paint them, and then they sell them. Or, or they might have painted them, but they'll have done a complete abortion of it, and all I'll do is I'll get them and strip the paint off and start again. So I think going forward, I might do more. I do like them. I'd like to make if I had a big army of dudes, I'd quite like to do them as, Scions. But I don't want to have to make any more. So I think it might be the old buying ones that other people have made. Or at least seeing how that turns out. Because it could be that they made a complete arse of it and I've got to spend a week cleaning them up. You never quite know what you're going to get. But the advantage is, somebody might sell a pack of 10 Scions that they made, and they'll be like cheaper than buying it, so it'll save me some money. But it's not, I don't like doing that. But for these guys, I don't know if I could bring myself to build any more, because it really is like, it's just torture with the arms. Oh, there's one other thing. That's the other thing I was going to complain about them. The data pads on the arms. it's exactly where the nub is to get them off the sprue. Whose idea was that? You've got this little tiny screen that's like that big where the nub is, and you've got to somehow try and shave that down and get it flat without making a complete mess of the data screen, so that when you're finished, you've still got this nice crisp edged data screen. It's like, really? That wasn't the best thing you ever did, was it really? It wasn't the best idea you ever had, was it? Thinking about it, ugh, yeah, that was annoying. But they do look awesome. I much prefer them to standard Imperial Guard, because the standard Imperial Guard are like 20 odd years old now, and they're a bit lumpy, and you know, they've got lots of seam lines everywhere, and the moulds are a bit ropey now. Whereas these Scions guys, they're really crisp and neat. I'm looking forward to painting them. All their painted glory. Get in there now. Get the paint on there. Little brush time. Hello, little brush. What do you say to a little brush? Hello, little brush. It's an old joke. Yeah, getting in there to do the gold trim, that's going to be intriguing. It may have been more sensible to paint them gold first, perhaps. I don't know. But then I don't know. We'll find out. There may be swear. There may be swearing ahead. But like I said, it's one of those things that if you're struggling to see the thing, you can't. If you can't get your brush to it and you're struggling to see it, it's entirely possible nobody else is ever going to see it either. So you could do without it. Like creator, good night, guys. It's off. Thanks for coming in, dude or dude. I never know who's. I do have to apologise, because some of you, I know who you are in real life, because you say I am such and such in the boom hut and stuff. But you have to remember that I completely forget that almost instantaneously. So if I ever say dude and you're not a dude, I do apologise. I kind of say dude as a generic to anybody because it covers my arse. Whether you're a dude or not, it kind of covers me quite nicely. So don't be offended. I'll check the chat again in a moment. Oops. It's nice to get some paint on these. They've been sitting there for ages waiting for paint. But I figured if I'm going to paint the Taurox driver and gunner, I may as well get the rest of these guys at least based up anyway. So what is everybody working on at the minute then? What have you all got on your benches right now? While I'm sitting there doing this, give you guys something to talk about. What's in the works for you guys at the moment? Tell me. And I shall read it out to the entire internet so they can know. I can't believe I haven't actually snapped all the backpack antennas off these guys yet. Somehow I've managed to avoid doing that. It's a miracle. It's a Christmas miracle. Right, have a quick look at the chats just for a few moments. Ow. Don't do that. Let's have a look and see. Right, I'm trying to see what's going on. The stuff in there is in the chat, and everybody can see it on screen, but I don't really want to read it out because it's personal stuff, so really maybe gone a bit too far with that. Talking about it in public. I'm not saying don't do it in chat, I'm just thinking I don't want to read stuff out maybe that maybe you don't want reading out, so I need more tissue. tissue. If you know what I mean, you know what I mean. We're kind of moot though, because it's kind of on the screen there, so yeah. Never mind. Everybody's a dude is a non-gender specific thing, says Spid. Yes, good answer. I like that. I knew I liked Spid for a reason. I even call my kids dudes, says James. Decals on the U-wing, says Gross Models, and painting a head. If you want to get a head, get a head. Krista Parra, not working on a model exactly, but I've motorised and added an LED to one of those big Zaku heads of a class project. There's still a model. There's a model. If it's a miniature version of something that's bigger in real life, then it's a model. There you go. Buster Gundam, and then the eyes painted came out cool, says Nim Cinderin. Awesome. Cy Reynolds is doing a Primaris Interceptors, which you mentioned earlier on, for next year's Armies on Parade. Yeah, I will do something like that one day. I just feel bad because, like, my local store, if you go in, there's like maybe a handful of entries, and like half of them are always like, you know, 8-year-old kids, and it's like, I don't want to take my stuff in there. I'm not saying I'm not gonna, you know, I'm gonna win. I might not. There's people in there that put their stuff in there much better than me. But I always feel bad. It's like, yeah, I'm gonna put my stuff in, and then you get like some little kid comes in, and it's like, yeah, I just feel bad. That's why I don't do competitions as well, because I don't like being the person that beats somebody else. For me to win, someone else has to lose, and I don't like doing that. Not that I'm saying I would, you know, win or anything, or my stuff's better than anybody else's. But as someone who can paint reasonably, I'm always wary of doing competitions, because, you know, some people are, there's always people that are learning and just starting out, and I feel bad when they go up against someone who's been doing it for years. No, I'm not here to. I don't do this to brag and show off and get told I'm the best. And I don't give a crap what the people. I'll be honest with you. I don't really care what other people think about the quality of my work. It's not of interest to me. I'm not ego driven like that. If you like my stuff, that's great. If you don't like it, well, that's fine. Not for everybody. If you don't think it's very good, awesome. Tell me where you think I can improve, and I'll take that to heart. I'll work on it. I'm always there, open for, you know, people to tell me how things I need to change to get better. I don't think I'm good. I think I'm all right. But there's lots of people much better than me. I'm no professional. But yeah, I'm not in it for the recognition thing. Like, I don't need my ego stroked. It's not why I do it. I don't think I'm the best in the world, but I think I'm good enough that I can get other people at least started on the process. I'm not, when I teach people, you know, what I do is I do what I do to teach people. And I'm not trying to teach them to get them to my level, because my level's where they want to be. That's just bullshit. I'm trying to teach them to at least get to my level, because it's past beginner. And it's a stepping stone on the way to becoming, you know, hardcore paintery type. I don't think I'm at all at that level yet. But if I'm half as good as somebody else, I can still teach someone to get that halfway. Doodle 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 doo doo. I don't know how these guys are going to look in full char outfit, you know. They might look complete ash. I mean ass even. Doodle 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 doo. Also, I don't do competitions because 99% of the time it's all political bullshit. There's so many, like, I'm not going to mention any names here, but there are, you know, organisations, global organisations, that, should we say, perhaps deal with model making. And, you know, it's just all politics and snarking and backstabbing, and I'm not interested in any of that. I don't bother with that. I do this because I love it. And I teach people because I want them to love it too. I don't need people to tell me how good I am. I don't need people to demonstrate how good they think I am by giving me a certificate or a badge or a sticker or something. It doesn't interest me at all. The only thing that interests me is that somebody can look at my stuff and figure it out for themselves. somebody mailing me or sending me a message on Facebook and saying, dude, I was sucked ass at model making and I've been watching your stuff and I've been trying this and I'm getting the hang of it. Thank you so much. You've helped me to develop my skills. That's all I want. That's what I'm in it for. That's the reward for me. People say to me, you know, wow, if somebody comes to me and says, well, you're so good, your stuff is so good, it's brilliant, and I'm like, it's nice, thank you, but doesn't do anything for me. It's not why I'm here. I don't require adulation. Adulation. Right, what are people doing? Warhamsters and more Warhamsters, says Dad. Yeah, Dad's really fallen for Warhammer, hasn't he? Haven't you, Dad? Haven't you? In a way, it's awesome, because Dad was always like the least likely person to ever get involved in doing a Warhamsters. But in another way, it's not awesome, because he was just about to start doing a Gumpler. We just managed to get him a Gumpler. I'm going to change brush now, because this one's getting it's a bit big and it's getting a bit annoying. I'm going to leave that one and clean that up later. He was just about to start doing his big RX 78-2 that we managed to blackmail and cajole him into getting. His dad's pla. And then he went and got a bloody... Oh, do you know? Oh. But now he's into Warhamsters. Yes. He seems to be liking his orcs. Daka. What time are we on? 27. We'll do some stickery giveaway goodness in a bit, because it's nearly that time. If you weren't here earlier on, we're not doing a wheel of giveaways, as I explained earlier. First and foremost, last week, not being able to stream last week threw me out of the routine, because it was every other week, and that puts a real crimp in it. Because I base it all around, you know, my Patreon money, when I've got money coming in and so on. So it kind of threw a spanner in the works there a bit. But also, I'm actually going to just leave it for a little while, just over like Christmas and New Year's, because it's that time of year now when everything's dead expensive and everything costs money and it's all spending. And I'm struggling a bit, so I need to get myself back on my feet, money-wise. And I've got Aviad's books to send out, and I've got the little chibi Macross to send out, and some stickers and that, which is fine. They're hopefully going to go out this week, hopefully. But yeah, I need to just not spend for a bit now, so we're just going to put a pause in just for a little while, because I've still got tons of kits and things to give away. I don't want people that have sent me stuff to think that suddenly I'm not sending stuff out, because I am. Just putting a little bit of a hold in it just for a little while, just so I can get myself back on my feet. So don't worry, it's gone nowhere, it'll be back. Excuse me. Right, let's take a pause. I've only got a few guys left to do. Let's take a leave for a moment, and we'll do some stickery giveaways. I'll see what everybody else is making, what the chat is saying. I've got paint on my hands and everything. Let's have a look. What's people doing? We had the Primaris Interceptors. Oh, it jumped. Oh, hang on. It all moved. Chris at Gross Model says, no hamsters for me yet. There will be later. Yes, Chris does his Warhamster stream on a Sunday after mine. He does his at 8 o'clock, 8 PM, correct me if I'm wrong, 8 PM GMT on his channel Gross Models. You can see his channels there. See his name on the telly. I don't know why I'm pointing at my iPad. You can't see that. David Butcher, that model, is working on a pack of Walker's cheese and onion square crisps and a Whisper bar. Yeah, crisps are good. James Lorimer was working on a Christmas diorama. Speedy Curator's cleaning up a printed lament configuration box in readiness for a coat of primer. I don't know what that means. Also, more detailed bits on the Cappuccino underside, running gear and interior. Should be another update on that soon. Cool. What's a lament configuration box? I don't know what that is. It sounds interesting. Sounds Warhammery. Hello, something happened. What was that? Patrick Locke has subscribed. Thank you very much, Patrick, for subscription. We actually had a couple of people subscribe just before we went on air. Primarad and Jason O subscribed just before we came on air, so welcome to those two. To all three of you, welcome, welcome. Don't forget, of course, thank you for subscribing. You've taken a little bit of Nim's health off, Aviad's health off. Don't forget, of course, to click the notification bell as well. That way, you'll get notified when I do all the live streams. Cougar Model House has subscribed. Thank you very much. Don't forget to click the notification bell. Welcome, welcome. Yes, I do these live streams every Sunday, apart from when my camera breaks. But I also do other live streams every now and then randomly. I do lots of last-minute live streams where I just think, right, I'm going to stream this, bang, and I go. So make sure to click the notification bell. That way, if ever I just pop up a live stream randomly, you get a little notification. I tend to vary them so that people in the UK can watch them, and then next time people in the US or elsewhere in the world can watch them. So sometimes they're in the evening, sometimes they're in the morning, depending on, get different audiences. The War General, welcome the War General, is working on HG Barbatos. James Lorimer's brother is currently working on a Wing Zero. Oh no. Speedy Crate has also been watching the 2011 Thundercats. It's kind of fun. Never got into Thundercats. Cyril says, to be honest, Fox, Armies on Parade just gives me a deadline, a reason to pull my finger out with my backlog. Well, yeah, there is that. Wayne Hayward is painting some Space Marines, ongoing projects to try painting miniatures. When you say ongoing project, do you realise you're completely screwed now? Because the moment you paint any of them, that's it, you're knackered. You are utterly knackered, because there's no such thing as a bit of Warhammer. It's like being a little bit pregnant. It's not, no. Once you're in, I'm sorry, mate. Yeah, just have that conversation with your bank manager now, because they're going to have to get used to it. Maybe you should ask your local shop if you can just enter something and not win a prize. I don't know what that means. Thundercats, whoo, says James Larimore. Speedy Curate is saying he's also considering stripping his Plague Marine, for the second time and having another bash at brushing him to a decent result. Well, yes, I will be doing. Don't know what this means. Don't know what, it's kind of mesmerising. He got caught up in it. Stop it. Because I'm doing the Warhammer Conquest thing, where I'm following the magazine. If the magazine says to paint this thing, I'm painting that thing in it that way. But I'm doing some of the figures I'm going to take to one side and paint my own way in a lot more depth and detail using techniques and paints that aren't in the magazines. Proper grown-up painting. One of those is the Lieutenant Calcium, obviously. I love Lieutenant Calcium. He's going to be painted properly, like a grown-up. But also, I'm going to take some named Chaos Plague dude that's going to be appearing in a later magazine. I think he's already out. I've not had him yet. He's not a unique character. Well, he is, but he's not unique to the magazine. But he's like a bigger. He's not just a rank and file Plague Marine. He's a named character. I'm probably going to paint him properly as well. So, in the way I would quite like to paint him, basically. So, if you want to wait on, I'll do that at some point. I will paint that guy. Well, there are lots of other guys out there. Depends how you want to paint him, what colours you want to use. But I'll be sticking to the usual greens. But yeah, I'll be doing that one. So I'll be at least one Imperial, one Space Marine, and there'll be one Plague Marine type person. People sending me emails. What's this? Yeah, that'll be a how-to. So if you want to hang on and follow that, you can do. Hands up. Who's singing the Thundercats theme song? Says Sprue Glue. It's okay, Fox. We'll always be here to remind you an idiot, says Chris at Gross Models. Only problem is, says Speedy Curate, I can't help hearing Thunderpants in my head. Yes. I'm never into Thundercats. I didn't like that kind of style of animation. It just did nothing for me at all. Hey, George. George is in. Just wanted to pop in and say hello. I may not be able to stay long. Welcome, George. Welcome, welcome, welcome. It was a bit quiet without you. We were missing you. Welcome, welcome. How's Tricks? How you doing? How's it going? Coffee. George, you need to mail me, says Chris at Gross Models. Fox, you do know the Conquest mag's on more than 6 issues, says Dave at Butcher That Model. Yeah, I know. I've done 6 issues. I've done issues 1 to 6. I've got 7 to 10 in a bag at the minute, waiting to be opened. Yes, I know, but there's no cockpit. There is actually. Yeah, no, I know, but it's all gravy. Don't worry, because it's planned for. That would be cool, says Spade. I'll probably be ready to strip the paint for the 3rd time by the time you do the walkthrough, lol. Yeah, I don't know when I'll do them. Like, I've not even started Captain Calcium yet, but I'll do them like as a one-off video rather than just... Because I was going to do it in the latest episode, I was going to do it in the middle of that and say, now we painted these guys like a chump, let's paint these guys properly. And I thought, no, I'll do it as a separate video because I can just do one video that's just one episode, how to paint Captain Calcium. And the next one will be how to paint the Nurgly Dude. And then there'll be one about, I mean, I might do, because we don't forget we've got like we've got the Primaris Repulsor tank to do. It's quite a big kit. And I mean, you've seen how long it's taken me to do this Taurox. This Taurox has taken me approximately 1 million years, but that's because I've been doing it on a Sunday show for weeks and weeks. The Repulsor tank's like that big, and there's also a land speeder which is, you know, that kind of size without the wheels. So they're going to be quite long periods to do anyway, so even if we paint them just like them, and there is going to be a lot of repetition as well, I'll be like, right, now we've got 6 more Poxwalkers to paint. I've already shown you how to paint them, so just go and do it. So we've got to pad it out some way. I can do that, Chris, says George. That would be cool, probably. Well, I've done that one already. There's very few stickers, which for me is perfect. I don't think he knows Dave. Hi, fellow modelers. Oh, JS Idaho. Welcome, JS Idaho. Just in time for stickers. I've got some from China, but I don't know if I'll use them, lol, says Dad. I don't know what we're talking about now. Whatever stickers I don't use, I let my kids use, says James. Yes, they'll just stick them to themselves. Talking of which, as you all seem to be talking about stickers, should we do some stickers? Now, we have some Team Inepts, and I forgot to, like a spoon. I don't think I've got. Have I got any separate? Oh. Right, I'll have to do some art and crafts for you. Hang on. It's time to do some arts and crafts. All those. Look at them. Loads of them. Time for arts and crafts, children. Oh, hello. Look at that. Perfectly straight line. Sort of, not at all in any way, shape or form. Shh. I've got 4 stickers out now, so we'll do 4 stickers. There you go. All them. All the stickers in the world. Right. Shut up. Right. Let them to one side. Coughing. I've actually got a pile of stickers somewhere with names on that. I need to figure out where the hell I put them. I don't know where they are, but somewhere. Okay. Now, I think Fox can't shoot straight. Why are you ordered? Get. Thanks, Paul. Now, I think these haven't been given away yet, because I haven't written anybody's name on the back. But it is entirely possible that I've got like 6 Team Inept stickers and 12 people that I've given them to. So I don't want to pull a Bethesda on you and say I'm going to give you a nice canvas sticker and it turns out to be a crappy nylon sticker. But a little bit of politics, there you go. Too soon? I don't know. There is a chance that you might win a Team Inept and get a model making guru. I'll try and avoid that if I can, but just don't kill me. If you win one sticker and get a different sticker completely, it's just the order of things. It's the way nature works. Right, so we need to come up with 4 words. 4 words. On these canvas stickers. Well, that's already got Fox can't shoot straight, so there you go, that's fine. Crumple. Mlem. Blep. There you go. I don't know why I write those things on there. So, and just so we don't know which is which, we'll just mix them up and then you don't know which sticker you're getting. Now the thing is, what I'll do is when you win one, I'll write your name on it. You're highly unlikely you're going to get that sticker. That's why, you know, people get stickers with other people's names on, because that's the fun of it. But I don't know which is which now, apart from that one, which is obviously Team Inept. So, if you win a Team Inept, you might get... I don't know. I'm not that organised. I'm inept. You know I'm inept. Hashtag Team Inept. Like and subscribe. You know I'm inept. So, don't guarantee anything. Mlem and Blep. Yes, look up Mlem and Blep. It's 2 things that animals do. Mlems and Bleps. A blep is when they just stick the tongue out a little bit. And a melem is when their tongue's just hanging out all over the place. Right. Right, before we go and do the questionings, I need to go and check the email, see if we've got any. Before we do anything, as always, by this point, there is a big delay between the video and the audio. So, before we do anything, I need you to, first of all, hit refresh on your browser window. And when it's refreshed, I need you to drag the slider all the way across the right-hand side so you can have as minimum delay. Minimum delay. Now, the stream is tweaked for minimum delays, but there'll always be some lag. But go and do that now. I'll wait for you while I get my email up. I'll turn my keyboard up. Bleps are what cats do when they stop mid-lick with their tongue part out. Yeah, the little tip of the tongue sticking out. Any animal, that's a blep. A mlem is like when an animal's like licking a window and its tongue's like bleh. That's a mlem, mlem. That kind of blum, 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 sticking the tongue out thing. Mlem and blep. They're real words. Right. We have many questions. I think we have many questions. Hey there, Vazid. There's an address for the stickers. That's an address for the stickers. Diddly-doo, diddly-doo, diddly-diddly-doo, doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. Russell Baker sent me his address, but he says, enjoy the stream, help me focus on the MG camper I'm building. I answered 2 questions, so here's my address. Thanks for creating the content you do. I was mostly a straight build kind of guy, but I've ventured out into the world of paint and weathering thanks to you getting an airbrush soon. Wish me luck. I'll do my best to make something awesome. Here is a picture of a Freedom Gundam I finished recently. And it looks... It's not loading. It looks kick-ass. Cool. Awesome work, dude. Yeah, that's the kind of thing that makes me happy. Not people tell me I'm brilliant. I don't care if people think I'm brilliant or not brilliant or whatever. I don't need praise. But people telling me, this is what you've done for me. This is what watching your stuff has done. That's what I love. That's what I do this for. Address from George for the stuffs. George, what was I sending you? Stickers, I think. Yeah, anyway, we'll get there. That's a Team Up sticker. I've got lots of people sending their addresses. Here we go. Questions for your Sunday show. Right, here we go. We have 3 questions from Jonathan Hanna. I'll use all 3 because then I get to send 1 sticker out. Yes. Although you didn't send me... Oh, Jonathan Hanna, you didn't include your name and address in this. I'll tell you so you can send me an email with your name and address so I can send you a sticker. Because I'd normally just assume you don't want a sticker. Right, swig of coffee. Because the voice is going. Now I don't know anything about any of these apart from one of them. 2 of them are to do with Marvel nonsense that I have no interest in, so I'm just going to assume they're correct. Right, is everybody ready? Right. Fox, is it okay if I post a video of the motorized Zaku in the Discord? Yeah, absolutely. What either the Patreon or the Boomhut one? Either they're just public gatherings. It's a place for you guys to hang out, post whatever you like, as long as it's not pornography. Go for it. Post it in the Boomhut, mate. Why don't you post it in the Boomhut? Do it in the Boomhut as well. Right, anyway. First question for Blep. For Blep, which happens to be Team Inept. Upside down. For Blep, here we go. Ready? Question 1. Who is the actor... I don't know, this is Marvel. I hate Marvel, so I don't know if this is right or not. Who is the actor that plays Agent Phil Coulson from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.? Go. Who is the actor that plays Agent Phil Coulson from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. / Avengers? Go. Chris says to post the porn directly to Fox. Yes. What's his name again? Oh, there we go. Dude, Bob Carroll G's, Colby Cheese. They rhyme. Clark Gregg says Osric 9000. Osric 9000. That is the correct answer. So I will write Osric 9000 on there, guaranteed that will end up with like Aviad or something, because most things do. So Osric, well done. There's no guarantee you'll get that sticker, but I'll do my best. I'll do what I can. It's worth pence. Well done, Osric. There we go. Right, so that's that one done. Next one is Crumple. Who's going to win a Crumple? Nice bit of Crumple going on. I came back at a weird moment, says Jerry. Yes. Okay, right, so there we go. Dad says Father Ted. Well, no, you see, no, well, no. Right, well done. So next question, here we go. the next question. And what I'm doing with these now, that's going to go there. There we go. I'm not organised. Next question for Crumple, which is a Guru sticker. Question 2. Remember to refresh your browser if you haven't done so already. 7 and 4, 23. 2 fat ducks, 47. Right. Ready? More Marvel nonsense that I don't care about, so I don't know if it's right or not. Question is, what is the name of Thor's new hammer? Go. What is the name of Thor's new hammer? I'm getting ready to write Aviad on the sticker here, but we'll just see. I've actually forgotten what the answer was. Oh, there we go. Tim Curry. I like that. Ted the Big Un. Cy Reynolds gets in there with Stormbreaker. Nice one. Cy Reynolds, well done. I will guarantee that you'll be sent a sticker. Not necessarily that one, but sticker guaranteed. Remember, if you do win a sticker, even if you've already sent me a mail from like the other week, if you won one a few weeks ago, and you've already sent a mail, send me a mail to fox@modelmakingguru.com. The address is there, saying, hi, I won a Guru or an EP sticker, whichever, or I won a sticker, and include your name and address. If you're already waiting for other stickers, then I've already got your email with your address. Send one anyway, because if I see 5 emails in my inbox from you saying you need a sticker, I know to send you 5 stickers. There you go, you see. I need as many emails as you've got stickers. So there you go. Right. Last question. It's a Warhammer's question. And you might have to Google this one because I wouldn't have known. And I will accept funky spellings. I don't expect you to spell it just right. There's a goddamn apostrophe in it. I object to apostrophes in science fiction names, but there you go. Right, everybody ready? 4. Fox can't shoot straight, which is a Team and Ep sticker. Question is, who is the chapter master for the Salamanders? Go. It's a chapter of Space Marines. Who is the chapter master for the Salamanders? Go. Do 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 do. Cy Reynolds says, I sent you a sticker, question addresses in that. Yeah, but I need an email to remind me to send you another sticker. So you need to send me an email anyway. It sounds really weird, but like I say, if you're owed 5 stickers, I need 5 emails to tell me you need a sticker, if that makes sense. Otherwise, I'll send you however many emails I've got stickers. Right, I forgot the name now. We've got Yellow Polka Dot Bikini, me, Ted, I am, Dennis the Menace, Tushan. Cy Reynolds again with Tushan is correct. Tushan is correct. So Cy, you don't need to send me 2 emails, but send me an email that says you won 2. You might even win 3, however many you win tonight. You might do an Aviad and win all of them. Yeah, so send me an email anyway. Because like I say, I literally say, you've got 5 emails from Dave, therefore Dave gets 5 stickers. So there you go, that's how I do it. I'm special, I need all the visual aids I can get. Space Hamster Z8 says, Cy Reynolds, you have bested me, sir, shakes gauntlet. Also, I don't know how to spell gauntlet, because he spelled gauntlet wrong. Does the Emperor have an actual name? Just wondering, says Ryzen. I don't know, does he? I've never seen it. I don't know if he does. Apart from Emps. The Emperor's name is Penguin, says James Lorimer. Trevor, says Jerry. JS Idaho says Bob. Right, we've got 1 sticker left. So there we go. Yeah, Jonathan Hanna, if you didn't send me, so send me an email with your name and address and tell me that you owed a sticker for asking your questions. And I'll send you a sticker. But I shall remove your mail for now. There we go. Got a question from Dave at Butcher That Model. I'm going to assume, Dave, you don't want a sticker because you've not put your name and address in there. But you know how to get hold of me anyway. Right, we have 1 last question. It's a Warhammer question. Haha, right. This is from Mlem, which is Model Making Guru. They're upside down today. Right. So who deleted the message there? Sprue deleted a message. You should never delete messages. We like to take the mick out of you if you do something dumb in the chat. Right. Here we go. Now this is Dave and his thing for Age of Sigmar. Here you go. Ready? In old Warhammer, I think this is Age of Sigmar / Warhammer Fantasy. In old Warhammer, what is the name of the famous dwarf beer maker? Also the name of the restaurant at Warhammer World. Go! Also the name of a paint. What is the name of the famous dwarf beer maker? You can actually buy a pint of this at the Warhammer World Cafe. Emperor Pimp Handle. Emperor Pauldrons! Doodle-doo. I think the Horus Heresy novels, I think it said it was Lost in Time, but I can't remember if that is true or not. That's not the answer I'm looking for. Cy Reynolds, god damn it! It says Bugman. That's the right, it's Joseph Bugman. Cy, I knew I should just not hold... I told you should just waited to send an email. Right, well, that's you with 3 stickers, Cy. You done right, Aviad. Where's Aviad? Where's Aviad to just do all that? That's his job. I don't know. So well done to Cy, who won all of those. And that's size, that's size, that's size, and that's Osrix. Well done. I don't know. Well, it happens that time. Don't forget, it's not like we've got like 1 million subscribers and 10,000 people in the chat. We're going to win multiples sometimes. You're going to get the same people winning. It's all gravy. It's all free. Shizzle. All good. Right, so well done, Cy and Osric, for you winning your shizzle. Well done, well done. Let's have a look. So yes, Cy, send me an email with 3 stickers you've won now. Hey Fox, 1 3 stickers, Team Inept, and 2 MMG stickers. There we go. Good girl. Yes. Right, well done everyone that won stuff, and well done everybody that didn't, but I don't know what I'm saying. Well done. Right, lovely, lovely. Well done to all of you. Now, what's next? Now, what time are we on now? It is 4:52. Before we go anywhere, I want to do something. We're not doing a giveaway this week, like I said. However, I do need to make an announcement, which you've probably all seen already, if you do any of the social medias that I hang around on. But just in case you haven't, have I got this ready to go? I need to announce something. Eventually. Yes, you may have seen this on the Facebooks and stuff the other day, but I have set up an Amazon store. Now, it's not like I'm an Amazon trader. It's literally just a page where I link to all Amazon goodies. And basically, as part of because I'm an Amazon affiliate, if you order stuff from there, then I get a tiny, tiny little bit of income. A little tiny amount of income, and it helps keep this channel going. So, unfortunately, at the moment, it's kind of UK Amazon. I can't, without building a whole website, I'm not able to do any of the links to US or other countries, which is a bit of a pain in the arse. But basically, if you'd like to help this channel out and keep this channel going, here's one way you can by doing something you were going to do anyway. If you need to go on Amazon and pick some stuff up, before you go anywhere else, have a look on there. Just to see, because I've tried to add as much as I can as I go forward. I've just had loads of stuff on there that I find really useful. Paints and brushes and tools and bits of kit and all kinds of things. Even my microphone and my webcam stuff. If you're looking for stuff to do, anything like this or YouTube or anything like that, I'll put stuff in there. I've tried to look for... There's not a lot of control over which ones I can link to. I tried to link lots of them to my sponsors' e-models, but it doesn't give you the option. But I think it's tried to link some of the best prices they've got. So if you're looking to pick stuff up on Amazon, before you just go into Amazon and search for it, go and have a look in there. Because if there's something you're looking for and it's in there, then if you order it through the link, if you do it through that little storefront, I actually get a little bit of income off that, and you're helping out this channel. You're getting what you're getting anyway, but you're also helping out this channel massively. So all help is appreciated. So before you go and check stuff out, go and have a look on there. If there's something that you want to get off Amazon and it's not in there, like you're looking at picking something up and you want to help the channel out, just drop me a quick email, or if you're able to contact me on Facebook or somewhere else, send me a quick message, say, hey dude, I need to buy this thing on Amazon, it's not in your store, do you want to add it? And then I can add it. It'll take me literally a minute. I can add it, and then you can order it through there, and it helps this channel out. You get a little tiny bit of income. So just wanted to let everybody know. It's just a little extra way, because I need to, this is my living, so I need to try and get, I hate doing pimping and stuff and selling, but I'm not selling these things. I'm just saying, here's a link to a cool product. So there you go. Anyway, let's get rid of that. So closing down time. Hang on, where's the closing down music? There we go. Back again. So yes, like I say, it's not like I'm selling anything. It's just a case of, if you're going to order stuff anyway, go and check it out through there first. If it's on there, order it through there. It helps me out. It helps to keep this channel going. It helps keep this nonsense like we do here a possible thing. Right, what's chat doing? Wow, that was bad grammar. Though I did send him 2 next week. Yeah. I sent him 2 last stream, but I can always flood his email with history questions for next week. Questions are always good. Cyrils, Fox, do you have a normal affiliate link to other than the shop? The Mrs. Rags May wallet almost daily on Amazon. No. The way it basically works is that as an affiliate, I can create a link to a product that then if you use that link, I get a little bit of income. So like I was saying in that bit there, if there's something you need to buy, just contact me and say, hey, I need to buy this thing. Do you want to? Because literally, I go into the product and I copy and paste it gives me a little link, and if I give you that link, that's how it knows it's from me. That's how it works. I don't know how. They just mailed me and said, hey, do you want to be an affiliate? I'm like, okay. So it's just a little bit of extra income for me. So if there's something you know she's going to buy, tell me what it is. I'll need to know what the product is and also who's selling it, because I need to get the exact same one. Because I might get a link for it and it'll be from a different... It might not really matter, I suppose, but hey. But that would be massively appreciated. But unfortunately... yeah, I can do it. I can link to products that are in the UK or that ship to the UK. If you're in, say, the US, though, or somewhere else, it's still going to be the amazon.co.uk link. There is a way for me to do it to other countries at the moment. If you're in the US, you can link it to the UK store and the French store and I think the German store. But that's if you're in the US. I'm not in the US. If you're in the UK, you can't link it to shit, basically, without having software and stuff installed built into your website. I haven't got that. I'm just using Amazon's default page, so it's not an option for me right now. I haven't got the resources to build it to my website. It looks more like a pain in the arse than it's worth, to be honest. Let's have a look. Be right back. Needs to restart the PC, says Jerry. No. I don't need more stickers. I have the whole set, says Nim. You always need more. Elitist guru site. UK only, says JS. I know. Blame Amazon. I need to find out how you fade things in Streamlabs, says Gross. A bit like this. Hang on. A bit like that, or that. That. Or you could press that. We could do one of them. I've actually forgotten how you do it now. How do you do it? No, I didn't break it. I just pressed the wrong. Chris sent me a thing saying you're stuck on your test card. No, I just didn't press the button. Yeah, if you don't know where it is, if you can't find the post in the Boom Hut, just put a post in the Boom Hut saying, "Hey, what's the link for the Boom Hut Discord?" It's open to everybody. It's free for everybody in the Boom Hut Discord. It's basically just the same as hanging out in the Boom Hut, but it's 24/7 live. So there's the section in there for works in progress, for ask advice, anything like that. Because I'm not always around, it just means you guys, it's like hanging out in this live chat, but 24/7, so there you go. There is also one for patrons. If you are a patron supporter, and you don't know it, there is a Discord for all patrons, exclusive to patron supporters, or Patreon supporters. Only patrons have access, and I'll be posting, in future, I do plan on doing, obviously, some more Patreon exclusive content, and it will be exclusively in there. For example, I'll link. What I'll do is I'll post stuff up on Patreon, but I'll also post it in the Discord because more of you will see stuff quicker in the Discord than actually on the Patreon page. So I'll post stuff in there, and sometimes I'm planning on doing some live streams, but I might have the chat exclusively in Patreon. So in Discord, sorry, in the Patreon Discord. So if you don't know about that, by the way, you can support this channel by going to Patreon. patreon.com/modelmakingguru. You can support this channel and get rewards for doing so. So go and check it out if you'd like to help keep this channel going. He may be a model making guru, but a tech guru. Fox is not, says Chris the Pyro. I'm not, but also my website's through Weebly, and I don't think Weebly are that compatible with Amazon, so I would use WordPress, but WordPress, I've had WordPress before and it wasn't as good as Weebly. Fox should never have been trusted with all the buttons. Ah, I did press the button. There we go. And he's back. Yes, there we go. Right, what was I doing? I'm painting things red, aren't I? Red moments. I can smell the coffee. Yeah. You might just think it's really close to the camera, but it really is actually that big. That's how big this cup is. It's massive. It's that big compared to a dude. Hang on, there's the cup. There's the cup. There's the dude. That's how big my coffee is. Yes, it's actually enormous. This one is enormous. This one is very close. No, it's just enormous. Oh, my wet palette is not as wet because things are drying out a bit quickly. Doodle 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 doodle. More red. Handy tip for you: if you're doing a wet palette, it doesn't really work as advertised if you do things like put paint down in big massive blaps like that. It's not really how they're supposed to work. They're really designed for little blobs of paint. Because if I put a load of paint on there, put more paint on here, the paint that goes on top can't get the moisture because it's got paint underneath it. You know, just keep that in mind. Tyrone Key says the Patreon Discord is brilliant. Thank you very much. There's not a lot going on in there yet. There's not a lot of people in there. I do have a lot of patrons who aren't in the Patreon Discord. So if you are a Patreon supporter, thank you very much for a start. If you're a Patreon supporter, drop me a message on Patreon or anywhere else. Just get hold of me. And I'll give you the link for the Patreon Discord. Right, just put this bit water, tiny bit of water maybe. Helmet of seeing because it's over there. Like I say, I'm trying to figure out ways to you know, maybe use the Patreon Discord for like chat. So maybe we'll have a live stream, but the live chat might be exclusive to Patreon's Patreon Discord, something like that. That's a bit too thick, that. I'm not sure yet. I'll figure it out. I've not yet figured out a good way to do like Patreon exclusive live streams, which I want to do at some point, because I need to give the patrons some exclusive content. If you've never seen it though, do go and check it out. Patreon.com/modelmakingguru. It's just a way for you guys to, you know, help out this channel, keep it going. In return, you do get various rewards, occasional exclusive content, bits and bobs here and there. If you're a top tier patron, you do actually get me to make for you a master grade gunpla or a Warhammers. Fully built and painted. The Strike Rouge Autori that I'm doing at the minute is a Patreon reward build for someone. Someone who supports me on Patreon. Their reward is that I'm building and painting the Strike Rouge Autori. And then a bit later, after that's been done, I'm building the Cesabi, Master Grade Cesabi, and that's a reward build for George. Because those two guys are kick-ass and support me on the top tier, so they're getting cool rewards. But there's other things anyway. But as all things, though, it is completely optional. This is what I do for my living, so I depend entirely on your support to keep me, you know, paying the bills and stuff. So because I'm British, I hate pimping it. I hate saying support me and pay this and do that. You know, I don't want to turn into Chris Chan. But at the same time, I do this for my living, so I just have to hope that I do content that you guys like enough to want to help out. I'm British, I'm uncomfortable asking for it. I don't like doing that. That's how we work. We don't work like that. We're not, you know, some people will be like, yeah, do this, pay now, get this. And there's some YouTube channels where it's just obscene the way they do it. Do it and pay this and get this. And I'm like, I don't like doing that. I'm not a salesman. I have to mention it. I'm just not comfortable doing it. But we're too polite in this country. That's what we are. We're too nice and thoughtful. Should be an honorary Canadian me. Canadian, eh? That'd be cool. To do this for long enough and become well known enough for doing it, and loved and respected for doing it enough that, like, you know, 20 years from now, somehow become like an honorary citizen of Canada or something. That'd be fantastic. What's your goal? To get a, you know, honorary citizenship to Canada for some bizarre reason. Are you in it for the money? No, I'm in it for the just. Hi, we're the Canadian Embassy here. We'd like to make you an honorary citizen because your stuff's cool and we like you, and you use our national anthem, and therefore can we just give you a visa? Yeah, cool. Finally able to come and have some poutine. Let me kick ass. Diddly-dee-doo. I do like Mephiston Red. It's one of my favourite colours in the whole world. Apart from Retributorama, which is a bit more of a favourite colour. But this is just such a nice opaque. But it takes 2 coats to cover. As you can see here over black primer. It's a bit patchy. It's not the best. But it's not as bad as some of the other ones. So it will take 2 coats, but it's 2 coats of just whapping it all over like this, not working carefully. I'm not being delicate, I'm just slapdashing it on there. And it goes exactly where I want it to go. I do like this colour. I thought I could do them corn red instead, but I want them to be... I need them to be a little bit bright. I'll show you Char again. If you missed at the start, we're painting them to look like Char as Mabel, because this is my Principality of Xeon themed army. The Scions are going to be like the personal army of Char in my fluff, because Char's going to have a mobile suit. Char's going to have an Imperial Knight, nice red and shiny, and the Scions are going to be sort of aligned with him specifically rather than just general troops, because the Scions are the elite, so they're like the elite Imperial Guards troops. So it makes sense then that Char has the elite troops for himself under his little banner. So they're going to kind of be allied with him, and therefore they'll have the red colour scheme. It's a bit thick there, a little bit of water on that, I think, just to blend it away a little bit. Get some water on the brush. Where's the brush? There it is. Yeah, if you do go anywhere thick with paint, if you're quick, you can just get some water on your brush and just reactivate it. If you're very, very quick, I went a little bit thick with the paint there. So rather than just let it dry out and go brush marky, I'd rather wet it and just spread it around a bit. Go and do another coat later. So yeah, so they're going to be allied with Char. I'll take Char off the screen. Where's he gone? There he is. So yeah, they'll have the red. It's the red uniform. All the armour will be red in the outfit, but the boots and the gloves will be white. The belts and any straps will be white. So they'll have a kind of colonial look. They'll have a kind of colonial fighting the Zulus look. Wait till you see the whites of their eyes. And then the helmets, I'll either paint as the Scions, because the Scions are blue and they have blue helmets. I'll either continue with them as blue, red, sorry, or to match Char's helmet, I might actually paint them like a couple of different metallic silver colours with the gold trim. Like, to match Char, it might be that they have a sort of silver metallic helmet, but then the face plate, the mouth plate, be a slightly darker or bluer shade, maybe, something like that. I mean, it may just be a case that I paint them all with lead belcher, the whole head, then go over the lead belcher with either just leave it as lead belcher or go over with a lighter colour. You know, maybe some Runefang steel or something, or maybe even one of the Vallejo real metal colours, because they're quite nice. Just give it a nice bright silver colour, but then go over with a blue glaze on the face plate, just to make it, because you can look at the picture of Char that I had on the screen a minute ago, the mouth plate is like a bluey tinged, face plate's like a bluey tinged metal colour, whereas the helmet's just like a shiny silver colour. So I might do something like that. We'll see how it goes. Don't know yet. It's all just fun and games and up in the air. Who have we got left? I'm not going to do the Commissar, because I don't know what colours to do the Commissar. Yeah. It's not rush for excuses. Now this guy, I've got to be careful now because I don't want to paint the chairs. I'm going to put him to one side for a second. This guy, I can blop him all over. Not a problem. Oh, let's just keep him on the cork. Now these are the guys from the Taurox Prime, so I can just cover them in the reds. It's good to get some paint on these guys finally. Now I'll obviously have to paint because the lower half of this driver for the Taurox is in the Taurox, so I'll do that off camera at another time because I need to pay attention to that, because that and the other guy, I'll need to make sure I'm painting them carefully and not just covering the entire interior of the vehicle in red. I can't just blep the paint on there because that's not how it's going to work. So for these guys, this guy, I can get the paint on there. Looks like red plastic. Reminds me of those kind of Airfix kits you used to get on as a kid, but they were in the red plastic. That's that one. And I think we have one guy left, maybe. Oops! Oh, that was lucky. He got no paint on him at all. Actually, he's missing some paint on his sword there. Got no paint on him at all. And even if he had, it's kind of the colour we want him to be anyway. Yay! There's nothing, if you're using a wet palette, do be careful. There's nothing worse than dropping your model in the wet palette. It does happen. It does happen, and it's a very, very sad face. Little tiny, tiny touch of water. Just enough to thin it a little bit. Like I said at the start, if you missed it, I'm using a wet palette here, and the wet palette generally more or less thins this Mephiston red enough that I can just brush it straight on. Don't ever do this from the pot. You know, always thin your paint a little bit. Now when you're brushing on delicate colours, you want to thin it a little bit more than this. You might add even more water, but when I'm doing this kind of spreading the paint, because what I do is, I said at the start, I just get it on there and then I spread that brush full of paint around. If you've got good brushes, like the Games Workshop dry base brushes, or these are the Army Painter dry brushes, bizarrely actually work quite well for this kind of spreading the paint. You can get it on without lots of brush marks. Just be careful. But you don't want it to be too thin. Because if you have it too thin, then you just have to do more coats, and it's more time. If you do it about the right thickness, then you can carefully get it on like I'm doing now. I mean, I'm not doing it slowly, but I'm doing it carefully. You can get it on there with the minimum brush marks and in 2 coats. But I find it's typically with the wet palette, it's enough with just the moisture from the wet palette. You don't need to add any more. Occasional, you've seen me put the occasional tiny touch of water on there. That's just really to keep the wet palette moist, because I didn't refresh the moist tissue paper before we started, so it's a little bit dry, the palette, so I'm just touching it in a little bit. Right, so that's those done. All 1 coat each. So I haven't done the Commissar, but I don't know if I've got my little chibi submarine to make my little U-boat, and I'm tempted to use a Commissar in that, just for shits and giggles, you know. But I don't know yet, and I might dim it. I don't know what colours to do. I've got to think about what colours to paint him. I'm not sure what colours he's supposed to be, so yeah. Right, so what we're going to do, we're going to drop that in there. Have a look at what chat is doing. So what we're doing in chat, let's have a look. Mario Maker got me again. Those creative people, I curse them, says James Lorimer. Yeah. I use it at Fair Pit, says Jerry. Do you mean the Discord? Are you painting them red so they go faster, says Tyrone Key. Yeah, Daka. No, it's like I said before, it's because they're going to be aligned with Char Aznable and his Imperial Knight, so they're going to be red to match Char's suit. You were probably there when I showed it, but if you weren't, they're going to kind of match that colour scheme. So there you go. Sort of. The guy with the coat, the Tempestor, his coat will be black and green on the inside when it's painted. Speedy creates. George Gabriel says Sazar Beast. Oh yeah. I'm gagging to get on with yours, George. I'm looking forward to it with the weathering and everything. I can't wait to paint the figure. Actually, that figure's going to look mint. Mephiston was one of the ones I got the other day, says Speedy Q8. Yeah, it's really nice. Mephiston red, then a shade of Null Noil. Then a bit of Evil Sun's... Oh, maybe not. Hang on. Yeah, a little bit of Mephiston Red as the base. Null Oil. Then Mephiston Red again over the raised areas and leave the Null Oil in the recessed areas. Then a little bit of Evil Sun Scarlet as a highlight. And then something else over the real pointy highlights. I'm not going to go all edge highlighty on it, but I'll do a little bit of it. So maybe some Dragonfire Bright or something like that. I don't know yet. I want it to be not dead bright, but reasonably bright. But these guys I won't paint as intensively as I'll paint this guy a lot more carefully because he's like a major character. He's just a Tempestor, but he'll get a lot more attention than the rank and file. He'll be painted for speed. Oh, they are Tempestus Scions, says Ryzen. Yes, Tempestus Scions, these guys. My Mascitaria are in the box. They're all painted up and done. Zadster says, if you don't like the paintwork on the U-boat, they are cheap enough to buy another one. Yeah, I'm going to do it as a proper U-boat, but I'm tempted to have a Commissar sticking out the front. If it's got a hole where the hatch at the top is, I might have a Commissar sticking out to Warhammer it up, put some Aquillas on it, and it'll be a joke. If you know the Warhammer joke where there's a Commissar sticking out of a tank, and it's not a Commissar, it's I can't remember who it's supposed to be now. It's some commander anyway. He's there. He's in a tank, in a Lehman Russ tank, and he's there popping out the top of the cupola, and he's there waving his sword, saying, "Get me closer! I want to hit them with my sword." And he's in a tank. So I want the same thing, but it'd be the Commissar sticking out at the top of the submarine saying, "Get me closer, I want to hit them with my sword." It makes sense in my mind. Never mind. I might not do it at all. Nim is looking up random history facts for next week. George Gabriel is thinking of painting his Gloomhaven character. What's Gloomhaven? I don't know what that is. The Commissar could be part of the Inquisition, making sure your Xeon guys are up to no good. Yes, there is a lot of fluff. I basically came up with this fluff. If you don't know what the fluff is, I'll explain it very briefly for those who may not know. Because part of the fun of making up your own bullshit Warhammer army, well, part of the fun is putting it on the table and then some neckbeard goes all ape and goes, "Oh, you can't do that because of this and that and the other." I'll be like, shut up. Can't be doing with neckbeards. Comic book guys. But part of the fun is just making up the fluff. So my fluff is, in an abridged version of the fluff is that, because this is from the Mobile Suit Gundam universe, that there's some kind of fracture in the warp, and in the nature of pointless, stupid, dumbass fluff, a chunk of the Mobile Suit Gundam universe was sucked into the Warhammer universe, and vice versa. A bit of the Warhammer universe got sucked into the Mobile Suit Gundam universe. But it's around about the Universal Century period. So basically you've now got this chunk of the Universal Century period MSG universe in Warhammer. It just happens to be a chunk of space that's populated by the Principality of Xeon. So you've got various planets and space stations and sides and things floating around. And they're all like, "Oh, hello." Anyway, the Imperium notices this. They send an Inquisition team to find out what's going on, some advanced troops, and they realise that there's all these guys there with these like advanced mobile suits and technology beam sabers and beam rifles. That's all heretical because it's not come from the Adeptus Mechanicus. It's not official technology. So basically, what they do is they go to the Xeons and they say, "Right, you've got a choice. We're the entire Imperium of Man, and we can whoop your ass because there's billions of us. Because there's not a lot of them. There's just like a few planets, maybe in a few sides. You've got a choice. You can either join the Imperium, be subjugated by the Imperium and fight for the Emperor, or we can just wipe you out in like 5 minutes, just like that. Despite the fact you've got this technology much more advanced than ours, you'll last 5 minutes." So the Xeons are like, "Okay, we'll go for subjugation. We'll join in with the Empire." They say, "Right, that's fine, but what we're going to do is we're going to take all the technology off you because it's all heretical. You can't have any of it. Take all your mobile suits and all that kind of crap. We'll take all that away from you and destroy it. You've got to use our technology." So that's what they're doing. The Xeon forces are now using the technology of the Imperium of Man because it's not heretical. Because their own mobile suits and Zaku's and stuff is totally heretical. Although somehow the sides are still there, but we won't mention that. So yeah, that's why you've got these Xeon forces using, like, instead of mobile suits and Zaku's, they're now walking around in Imperial Knights. That's why you've got a Zaku Imperial Knight, and I'm going to do a Goof Imperial Knight and a Char's Zaku Imperial Knight. And you've got the Xeon forces now in different... So you've got the Xeon forces are now been made into Scions. So these are really Xeon forces. They're just using the accoutrement of the Xeon forces. So Char's, elite forces are now scions, and all the grunt troops are now just normal Imperial Guard, and they're using all the vehicles and so on and so on. So that's why I did the Taurox in the kind of grey Xeon Forces colour that you see some of the vehicles. If you get some of the hard graph kits, like some of the vehicles are like grey colours, so that's why I went for the grey colour for the Xeon vehicle, you see. So it's like, there you go. Not green. And like, there'll all be different colours, so the Imperial Guard troops, they'll be in various shades of green to match the Xeon Army grunt outfits. These guys are going to match Char's outfit, things like that. So that's the fluff. But there's one little twist in the tale, is that the Inquisitors come in and they take all the technology away, and they subjugate the Xeonic peoples into serving the Emperor. They get to maintain their identity as Principality of Xeon, but they're part of the Imperium now, so they have to fight for the Emperor. But they get to retain the symbology and stuff. But yes, the one little twist I like to add is that, you know, all the technology was destroyed by the Inquisitors, or was it? Ah, you see, little twist in the tale that means nothing at all. So there you go. So yeah, I made up all this. It's a lot more complex than that. I made up all this fluff. Like, how would you get Xeon stuff in Warhammer? And that's the idea. You see, pocket universal, bit of universe. I'll show them now because that's just so neckbeard. Anyway, I gave it some thought, just in case I get a neckbeard who wants to know about it, and somebody will be like, "Oh, I think you'll find it." I'll be like, "Look, I've made it up. Shut up." It was this or Angry Marines, and Angry Marines aren't original, so there you go. I have that Dragonfire paint, says Gross Models. Yes, you do. Dragonfire Bright. Dragonfire Bright. Zadster, the U-boat is a bit small for that, really. I don't know, because it might just look silly with this guy sticking out of a U-boat that's that long. It'll just look dumb and fun, I think. We'll see. I've been spraying my Airfix Wildcat and Defiant today. Good kit, says Osric. Cool. Defiant, as in, I'm assuming not Star Trek. The tough little ship, Deep Space Nine. Not that Defiant. Okay, right. So we've got those guys coated in red. I need to start a second coat, but it's taken me 2.5 hours to do one coat with all the talking. I'm not going to start that now. I'll do that later. I'll put him to one side. It seems weird that you have a... Mind you, it's Astra Militarum, isn't it? Nah, never mind. I'm muttering to myself. I think what I'm going to do is... I think I'm going to call it there, because there's nothing else I can start on now. And it's 5:30, so I can go and start making the tea in a bit. I was planning on doing, like I say, I was hoping to have done a 6-hour stream today, start at 12 o'clock, but I completely forgot, because I'm a dick. So I totally forgot to do that. And this one was set up to go from 3 o'clock. So what I will do, because I need to make up for not having a stream last week, so what I shall do is next week, assuming I remember, and I'm not a complete spoon, next week I shall do a 6-hour stream. So I'll start at midday and finish at 6. I may at some point have to go for a wee, because it'll be a 6-hour stream, yeah. So we'll have to find something I can crack on with. This will give... I'll get 6 hours out of these guys, no problem. So yeah, we'll do that next week. We'll do a proper full 6 hours stream next week, just to make up for the one you missed last week. Again, with the Wheel of Giveaways, I'm putting that on hiatus for a bit. Don't panic for all of you who sent me stuff to give away. It's not going away forever. It's just going away for a bit, so I can sort my finances out. So we'll put that on hold for a little while over the Christmas and New Year and stuff. But we'll come back next week with a big, long 6-hour show, hopefully. Don't forget tonight, of course. 8 PM tonight, once the show is finished. 8 PM tonight on Chris's channel, Gross Models. He's there in chat. Click on his name, it'll take you to his channel. Gross Models, he does his Warhamster 8 o'clock stream, which it's really good. It's just similar to this. It's just hanging out and chilling out. So do go along and give him your support. Go and tell him his painting's brilliant. Have a look at his painting is... I'm assuming he's still painting his Elven Eldar Jabba the Hutt barge. I do love the black to gold. Looks really good. But yeah, go and watch that 8 PM tonight. And then don't forget, of course, Monday night, E-Models night. I'm back on that again tomorrow. So me, Ted and Chris, E-Models tomorrow. Until then, don't forget, as always, if you've not... wow, hang on. Words. It's hard to do the talking. Don't forget, if you've not already a member of it, go and join the Model Makers Boom Hut. It's facebook.com/groups/model boom hut. It is the best place to hang out and talk about model making, show off your stuff. It's a great little community. There's no snarking and no bitching. We absolutely don't allow it. So really safe, friendly place for you to hang out and just hang out and talk model making and all that kind of goodness. And of course, if you'd like to help support this channel, you can go to patreon.com. Where's it gone? Patreon.com/modelmakingguru and become a Patreon supporter. You can help keep the lights on. There are rewards for supporting me on Patreon, an exclusive Discord channel, other bits depending on how much you support me with. Do go along. And don't forget, of course, as I said earlier on, I'm going to break something now. Do check out the supply hub, which I've just set up. It's only a little thing, but it means if you're going to buy something on Amazon, go and see if it's in there first. For model making stuff, obviously, because if you order it through there, it gives me a little bit of income. You still order it from whoever's selling it. It's not me selling it. It just gives me a little bit of income. So that's amazon.co.uk/shop/model making guru, which is another way you can passively help keep this channel supported. But I think that's going to do us. So I shall go and get me dinner ready, actually, because I'm starving now. Sausages. Oh, I have that. I'm going to put this guy on here. The hills are alive with the sound. I can't sing that because I'll get a copyright strike on my channel. But yeah, I meant to paint him pink. I might. No, I'll keep him red. But that's going to do us because I'm waffling now. Don't forget to give me a shout, George. Oh, that's the end. Gross Model says yes, still working on his Eldar Raider. Hamster Ball, the Hut Sail Barge. Oh flip, where is my Canada hat, says Butcher that model. Fox, what's the link to your Amazon thing? Hang on, I'll go back again. You've probably seen it now. Amazon.co.uk/shop/model making guru. Again, unfortunately it is just UK stores. I can't really do it any other way. But if you're going to be ordering something modelling, have a look on there. If it's on there, order it through that. It just gives me a little tiny bit of income. It helps the channel out. And you don't pay, not income that you spend. It doesn't cost you anything. You're just ordering the thing you're going to order anyway. It's like, it's like getting YouTube money for you watching a video. Same kind of thing. So there you go. Anyway, let me get rid of that. Anyway, we shall see you all next week. I'll try and remember to do a 6-hour show next week, if we can do that. But until next time, I just want to thank everybody for watching. Thank everybody for being patient last week when it all went basically tits up. That was a bit weird. It was a bit unfortunate. And thank you to everybody who supports me through all the various ways you guys support me. This is my job, and I love it, and I love my followers. My followers are awesome. And I know I've got some things coming towards me in the post in the next few days, so thank you in advance to people who've sent me nonsense. But until then, I shall, just non-sequitur. Until next week, I'm going to try and get some content up on the YouTubes this week. I've got to finish the latest episode of the... I can't find it, let me get it. Of the Strike Rouge, which is now all matte. It's all matted up and nice and not shiny anymore. It's looking rather spanky, I'd have to say. That lucky varnish, that ultra matte lucky varnish is very, very nice. If you've been struggling with with matte varnishes like I have for years, that Ammo by Mig matte varnish, oh, God, it's the best. It's as easy to apply as Pledge Multi-Surface Wax / 2 times more shine. An idiot can do it, which means I can do it. So yeah, do you want to check it out? So that's going to get the latest episode finished. Hopefully the next few days that should go up. Then I've got some plans to do some other bits this week, and I'm hoping to be back on track now. I need to start working my ass off to get builds built to sell and things like that, and just give you content. So life's been a bit hard the last few months. Hopefully I'm back on track now. So I don't want to bore you with all that nonsense, but we'll crack on. So anyway, yes, I'm going to go away because I'm waffling and I need to go and get some food. I shall see you all next week. Take care of yourselves. I'm going to move this out of the way before I knock it over. Take care of yourselves. Go make something awesome. Go do something while I get everything ready at this end. I'm just clicking buttons. Go make something awesome. Go be awesome. And until next time, adios amoebas. I've got to press the button. Where's the button? Where's the button? That wasn't the right button.